I didn't even check that. I forgot to check that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see her. But is her laptop working?
For
Is
right
it working
now.
fine?
For right now.
What's up, Christy? Reclaim. Uh, Huga, Huga. Hopefully she's
Hi,
still there.
Huga. Hi, Christy Sue. Hello, Homestead Family Reclaim. How are y'all today? Yeah, Ben Colder. Whoop. Oh crap! My mind just went. Ben Colder was one of his names he went by. Shep Woolley was the other name he went by. He's a old time singer. He done a song about the girl with the fiddle. She had a her middle was like a fiddle with, and she wore
George.
pinstripe, purple
Big
stripe
Matt.
pants. So that's where that comes from.
Jessica's dumpster
Hi,
girl.
Hedgehog. Hi,
Wow.
Shenanigan.
Hey, Hedgehog.
Hello, Big Matt. How y'all
Hey,
doing?
shenanigans. What's
Hey,
up?
George. Hey, Jessica Dumpster Girl. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. As we all know, um, harvest fall or Halloween, whichever you prefer to celebrate, is
Okay.
coming. And trust me, today's weather says it, screams it. We're cold, we're clammy, we're rainy. Our high is like 47 if we're lucky right now. So, yeah. And I've got a mind right now that is kind of spacey, so it kind of fits with all of that stuff, about spooky. But anyhow, yeah, we're here. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna talk about whatever. And oh, by the way, before I forget, outdoors with Big Matt and his wife, down under Texan, they have a celebration, a very, very important celebration coming up. It's their wedding anniversary.
Cool.
Yeah, and you know, you know me when somebody's married or if they're boyfriend and girlfriend, you can be friends with them and respect them because in my books, marriages and relationships are very high and important. You don't step on anybody's toes, but you can be friends.
Yeah.
And I just thought I'd say happy anniversary to Big Matt and his wife. So,
Is Jessica new to the channel, or has she been here
yeah,
before?
she's new to YouTube, kind of.
Okay,
Um,
because I wanted to ask about hers because I mean she has dumpster, girl on this. So I figure I'm assuming she dumpster dives because I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with that because people make a pretty decent extra money dumpster diving when they find stuff. Uh, that's a pretty good thing to do. I mean, we haven't talked about stuff like that, but I mean, I'm aware of it because I've helped my father-in-law do it, and we found some pretty good electronics or the stuff that still works, but people just like, oh well, this is so last fall, that kind of thing, and they throw good stuff away, and it still works. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
they're busy keeping up with the
yeah,
Joneses.
yeah, and you find a lot of good stuff, and people
Yep.
make good money. Like I said, from the scavenging the metals, copper, steel, aluminum, iron, and they melt it down and they make bars, and then they sell it or they keep it, whatever they do. But it's a good way to scavenge, and I just say scavenge because that's pretty much what you're doing, or foraging. Let's just say foraging. You're looking for things that may be useful to you in some sort of way, and if you're making money off of it, then that's pretty good.
Um, Shenanigan. All I can say is put cinder blocks in your pockets. Put a note in your pocket
Cinder
that says,
blocks.
if you find me blown away, please return me, and then have your home address on
Okay,
it.
cool, cool. So I
Tie
got
a
that from
rope,
her name.
around you, so that way you can tie yourself like to the porch, so you don't blow away. If you do go up, you'll be like a kite. You know.
Yeah, if you find me, this is my address, my husband's phone number.
Right, right. Please return me. You know.
Please return me if found. So yeah, she is a dumpster diver. That's very cool. That's very good. That's a good
Yeah.
good skill to have. It's a skill set because when you're in the dumpster, you know, when you're in rummaging through the refuge bins or containers, you got to be careful too. You got to practice caution because
Oh yeah.
you don't know what people throw away. They could throw away radioactive material and you wouldn't know, or some kind of poisonous or noxious or toxic material. So you have to be careful. It's like
Not only
foraging.
that,
It's
the
like foraging.
needles, you
Yeah.
know, it's a bad needle, so yeah, you gotta be real
It's
careful with it.
yeah, it's like foraging. Like I said, it's like foraging. You know, you're going out to the forest, you're looking for berries or vegetables or mushrooms, and you got
Hedgehog,
to
you
be
have a great
cautious.
day. Thank you for stopping by.
Who's going?
Hedgehog.
Oh no! All right, later,
That
hedgehog.
that's okay. You know,
Yeah, I know, but
we
still.
understand. Not everybody can handle a crazy show, but you know. And no, I do not show myself because I don't feel comfortable doing it, and I keep the focus on whatever I make my videos on. You know, you want to find out what you do with stuff that I talk about, watch the videos. You'll find out a lot of things there. You know, a lot of times you just gotta use common sense too. You know, so um,
Yep,
dang, I got a coughing problem.
it's fine.
Anyhow,
Wind.
yeah, that 15 degrees makes a big difference too. Um, like I said, we're here to have fun. We're here to talk. We're here to include the chat room. It's a lot easier, you know. So last week we had food. This week we're going to talk about having fun. Just outright good old fashioned fun. You know, and things that we used to do when I was younger, things I used to do back in the 80s, most of that would be considered illegal nowadays. And we weren't doing anything wrong, you know? So I hate my picture taken all my life. 3 months ago, I started YouTube and looked at me now. Haha, still working on it. Homestead, uh,
Slats.
family
What's up,
reclaim.
Vex?
Um, I I don't feel comfortable, but I do keep the focus on whatever I'm talking about. And the reason I do that is because that's where I want your attention to go. I want it to go on that, not on me, because trust me, nobody can pick me apart as good as I can.
Yes, Jessica. I have a channel. This is my backup channel because my original channel got uh removed within a month's time when I started posting certain stuff that I thought was worth having, and YouTube saw that it wasn't, so they removed my channel. So this is my backup channel. But if you still want to sub it, it's fair. You can if you want. If not, that's fine too, because it doesn't really have any content. Me, I join other people like JT, for example. We've gotten pretty close. You know, we're good and everything. So I'll I'll jump on like a co-person and share what I have to offer, and I'd rather do things that way until I feel it's time for me to actually do stuff on my own on YouTube or any other platform. But until then, I just hang out with others.
Hello, Vex Warfield.
My
How
circle
are
is very
you?
small.
Yes, Vex. No modulator was used in that saying. Hello, Warfix.
Yeah, technically it
Vex
would be my
Warfield.
main, even though I can still access my main, I just can't use it. They completely kept me from using it because it's pretty much banned. Uh, yeah, I'll get it for you
Hold
right
on,
now.
hold on.
You got it?
I'm
'Cause-
yes, I've got things. Jeez, I do have my cheat sheet, but I do know one thing. Okay, I'm gonna give you all a heads up here. Um,
cheat sheet.
when people sling links in chat rooms, it makes it real hard for them to talk and visit amongst you. So I really don't push it. People doing that here on this channel because of the simple fact the moderators might have a question or they might have some input on whatever we're talking about,
Thank
you
you,
know,
JT.
and so that way, we can all visit, we can all input, and dang it, if we come up with a problem like how I stubbed my toe the wrong way, we could all get together and figure out how I'm supposed to do it the right way or something. Yeah, and
Yeah,
yes, I was using that as an example there, you know, but we want everybody's input, and sometimes we know the answers, sometimes you guys know the answers, and sometimes none of us do, so we have to work together and figure it
yeah,
out. And that's how life is. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I don't take and make everything easy because not everything in life is easy. So I keep it real, I keep it down to earth, and say, hey, you need cheered up, we can do that for you. You know, we'll give you a hand up. We don't give handouts, we give hand ups. Why? Because if we're cheering each other on, we're all gonna make it together, you know?
yeah.
And that's okay, that's part of life
Oh,
too.
and by the way, JT,
Yes,
you're
dear.
making noise, so that's what matters.
Gee, usually when I make noise, you and Vex tell me she's doing it again.
No, we say
Bert.
burr, burr. Yeah,
Bert. And then I go, my good.
yep. My good
You
bird.
know, or, you know, those doors need to be oiled. Nope, they don't. They're how I know if people coming or going, you
Yeah,
know. And they only do it in the wintertime. That's the best part. So, yeah. And when the guys say Bert in the chat room, it don't mean nothing. Okay, it's not code. My good don't mean nothing. It's just we were sitting around my headset when I go away from my laptop and my headset's getting low on charge or the wiring in the house will interfere with it. It'll go burp after I talk. Okay, that's all that's about. Um, my good. Well, everybody always said something goes wrong and they'll go, my bad. Well, that's a downer, okay? So I started my
big time.
good because if you're going my good, you're cheerful, you're happy, and you never know. Happiness rubs off on other people. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It don't get no grease, it don't get no oil, but it's still open, so we're good.
It's just
That's
her door. Her door has personality, is what she's saying.
right. It's hard to get it to work just right for Halloween anyhow.
Yeah,
It's okay, shenanigan. We understand when mom calls, you gotta
right.
take the call. It's all
Okay,
good.
it's all good. All good shenanigans. Don't worry
You
about it.
know, we're here, we're having fun, and that's all that matters, babe. You know that. Although she did a good one about scary movies. The best scary movie or best Halloween movie for me to get stuck in permanently would be a comedy one, okay? I don't do the scaries.
Scary's not scary anymore, anyways.
No, some of them are gross,
Yeah, they're a little more weird and gross and strange than scary.
right? So, yeah, it's all. What is Vex saying bass about?
Bass. Your bass. When you were talking about when you were doing your voice,
Oh yeah,
changing your voice. Yeah, you
yeah.
said
I
bass.
I I don't use a voice modulator. That's actually me. I Yeah, I'm a female, but I don't have the high, squealy pitch voice, when it comes to singing. You know the old song? Daddy sing bass, Mama sing tenor, little brother and me joined right in. No, it's Mama sing bass. So, yeah, you know, all these wasted talents that I have.
Yeah.
I used to watch Shannon, what the heck? Oh, what was that show? Shana na 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 na. Yeah, that's it. And I like the bass guy because I could get deep like him. And you know, when I was a kid in school, I used to do sound effects, mainly because I was bored, and two, it was fun, and three, guys were supposed to be the ones doing them, not girls. So,
Yeah.
and I was more of a tomboy than what I was a girly girl. So it was all, it all worked out good for me. And the reason I cough is because of sinus drainage. Sorry. Some people, um, their allergies will go in the summertime. Other people's allergies will go in the wintertime. Mine, it depends on the weather. To be honest, some days I don't have it. Some days I have it really bad. So instead of me coughing and you guys listening, I just mute myself. But yeah, you know, it's one of those times of the year, you know. Jack Frost, he's nipping at your nose and your toes. And you have Baby It's Cold Outside. So, okay, Jessica Dumpster Girl, thank you for stopping in.
All right, later, Jessica's.
You're an alto. Oh, I don't know about that. But
You're Jessica.
no, George said that I'm an alto in singing.
Uh,
George, you'd be surprised how deep I can get.
See, there you go. Shenanigans. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be out there
Who?
in the weather. I would. That's me though. I would be out there in the weather too. I love
Yeah,
weather. Doesn't matter what it is.
they've got a lot of places that are supposed to get really bad weather tonight, tornadoes and a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. So shenanigan, you keep safe,
Yeah. Be safe, but enjoy the weather.
right?
Yeah. I love rough weather. I like strong wind, rain, lightning, thunder. I mean, here. I mean, I don't mind the earthquakes. They're fun. If you notice them. Sometimes you don't.
Oh, kind of like mounds and joys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like an Atlanta, sometimes you don't. Hi,
Hey, Abby.
Abby. How you doing, girl? I mean, that's another thing the wintertime is good for. And I know shenanigans. She just, she can't. It would be hard to do it with the little kids. I understand that. But in
Yeah.
the wintertime, you know, making candy, you know, they used to have candy pulling parties where they'd get together and make all different kinds of candies like candy canes and taffy and that pulling cotton gatherings where kids would get together, families would get together and do nothing but make candy. And then when everybody left, they got so much of the candy, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's his role, anyways. He's supposed to keep the family safe during times like that. You just go out and enjoy the weather. That's what I do. I'll be outside. I would be outside too. Heck yeah.
So God's night said to tell you hello. Is your computer working?
I did tell her when we started. She didn't hear me like usual.
Oh,
It's okay though.
she's had to refresh it twice.
I'm not butthurt about it. I'm offended, but not butthurt about it.
Well, we can get you some butt rub.
No, I'm not butthurt about it, so I don't need butt rub.
But she's doing what she can, you know, because that's how we do. We do what we can with what we got.
Yep.
Yes, and baking is awesome time to do that in the wintertime because then you're using the oven and that oven heat helps heat your house a little bit too,
Yeah.
you know.
Birds with one stone.
So yeah, I
Two
mean there's
birds, one stone.
right, you know, and going out and getting snow, making ice cream with snow, you know, instead of buying ice to make it.
If the snow is yellow already, it's not flavored.
Nah, don't use it. Yes, Vex. Be prepared for grid down this winter. Actually, be prepared because even if it gets too cold or the lines get ice on them, they'll go
Yeah.
down. You know, your electricity will go out. So you want to be prepared no matter what. Um,
Yep.
it's not nothing to play with in the wintertime.
If you have
I,
chimneys, get those ready too.
yeah, and if you don't have a chimney, well, then you have to get creative.
Yeah.
But you can do it as long
Yep.
as you don't get in trouble with your landlord. However, if the grid goes down, do you think too many people are going to care what their landlords say? As long as you don't
Exactly.
burn the house down, they will not care. Why? Because that heat of any kind is going to help keep their water pipes from freezing too. So, yeah. And I figured out how to send snow to a bunch of people that um don't have snow. We'll just have to wait and see what I'm talking about. And trust me, it won't melt before it gets to where I'm sending it.
Yeah, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Well, I hope he's not in charge of preps, you know, because if he is, we're all in trouble because I don't know if that guy knows how to, you know, just
Well,
saying.
he's not really in charge. He's like I said, he's like the front man. That's all he is. He's just the face. He's not like for example, some people say, "Oh, like if Trump was in front of me, I still treat him like a normal guy." Well, same for Brandon.
Right.
Brandon says, "Hey, man, I'm the commander in chief or the president of the United States. You should bow down to me and kiss my ring." I'm like, no, screw you. Who are you? You're nobody.
Right. Shenanigan, you are right. It don't matter who's in there, they are. You know, good, bad, or otherwise.
Yep.
Why am I getting feedback in my
It's just the
headset?
front man. Like most of them in Congress and Senate in our government that we see on TV or in an article or in a magazine or whatever face we see in public, they're just a front man. That's it. That's all they are. They're just front men. They don't do nothing else.
I'm not a front man.
Neither am I. I don't have to be, or do I have any aspirations to be YouTube famous? No thanks. I don't have the time for that.
So, Shenanigan, um,
And then,
what kind of goodies do you like to make in the wintertime? Tell us your deep, dark secrets.
well, I like to use my easy bake oven during the winter.
Yeah, and make those little bitty cakes that, you
Yep.
know, couldn't you see with a easy bake oven how many of them little bitty cakes it would take to make a whole box? One cake mix? I mean, even a Jiffy cake mix would make more than the little box of cake mix that comes with it.
Yeah.
You might burn out your light bulb before you got it done.
It says brownies, cookies, truffles, cakes, pies, bread. Do you make pie in pie flavor? That's my favorite flavor, pie flavor.
What's pie flavor?
Pie flavored pie.
Okay, you're not answering my question because all I know how to do is make pies, period. And they taste like pie flavor. Of what they're
Pie
supposed to
flavored.
taste.
Pie flavored pie. Oh, dude, I've seen those on YouTube. Microwave cookies, cakes, brownies, pizza, microwave pizza. I mean, they literally make a pizza from scratch in a mug or a bowl, and they make a pizza or a cake. Yeah, basically everything. Yeah, that's a good way to say it, shenanigans. Basically everything.
Well, Vex, go over to Shenanigans. She makes them in the wintertime, but I think that you'd have to fight with the kids and her husband to get any. No, I don't do nuke foods.
Yeah, neither would I. Hell no.
Um, the microwave stopped working. Actually, my old microwave rusted out. It was used when we got it, and it rusted out. So I replaced it, and it quit working. So ever since then, I don't have one. You know. Okay, your kids and your husband are broke. You need to fix them. They don't like cake.
Jeez.
Well, that means that we
It's
can all go there for cake. We're sure to get a bite.
it's basically bread. How can weird,
Flavored.
weird,
It might be the texture. You know,
I guess.
a lot of people are um, sensitive to textures.
Well, people are gonna be picky. Nah, let's not say sensitive. Let's just call it what it is. It's being picky because when shit hits the fan, which it will in many ways than one, you're gonna eat what's in front of you, or you're gonna starve. It's just one or the other. That's what it's gonna
Right?
come down to. That's how it's gonna be. That's reality. That's gonna be reality. Whatever's in front of you, if you're starving, you're gonna eat it or not. I mean, there's a choice. Either you eat or you don't. That's plain and simple. So like, hey, I went out and I scavenged some Hostess Twinkies, cake like substance or artificial. So we don't eat cake. Well, I mean, you eat it or you don't. You're gonna starve or not. And I mean, it's gonna be hard for parents, especially because your children or your other half is gonna be like, I don't want to eat that. I can't eat that. I don't want to. It's really gonna be, I don't want to. So they starve or they don't, and that's all you can do.
It'll get people over that one real fast when
Oh
their
heck yeah,
stomachs start
heck
getting
yeah.
pain.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, I feed my dog, table scraps. I'm like, don't do that unless you don't want to waste the food. But don't give them your food if they have their own food, because then you're gonna get them hooked on that food, and they're not gonna eat theirs. And well, how, how do you get them to eat their food, their dog food? I was like, stop feeding them human food. Leave the animal food there, and if they don't touch it for a couple of days, they'll eat it. Trust me. When they get hungry, they'll eat it.
Oh yeah, and believe it or not, but you can make a pie with possum pie. That is not no joke.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of people have done it. Back in the day, it was a good one, and you
yeah.
didn't
You could put
complain.
anything in a pie.
You
You could
were
put dog
happy
food in a
to
pie.
have it.
People won't know the difference. They think it's just minced meat or hamburger.
I would know.
Oh, I would too, but most people won't, especially
Right.
by the way it looks and if you add stuff to it to change the flavor, which is pretty easy because it's like most general canned dog food is in like some kind of gravy. You just add some seasoning to it. No, don't know the difference. Trash panda pie, yeah, or
But
trash pan on the spit.
it's like, the candy. Yeah, I know. I keep going back to the candy.
So striker. Yeah, I've
And I'm
seen
not.
dogs drink coffee, beer, booze, like vodka and stuff. I've seen people have their animals trained to do weird stuff. Well, not even trained. They just give it to them, and the dog likes it. They'll consume it. If not, they leave it alone. Sorry, JJ.
Hi, Shane. Um, or Sean, sorry, mispronounced your name.
Well, that's fair though. I mean, it's not like you're gonna walk to the ocean or go fishing if you don't need to. But again, if game, I'm talking about game on land. You know, land animals, land food, land-based food. If it's scarce, but there's a river or a lake or a pond stocked with fish, then either you're eating tree bark and dirt or fish. Unless you're allergic to it, then that's fair because but then you still have to find another food source if you're allergic to fish
Yeah.
because of the mercury. That's really what triggers everybody's that mercury if they're real sensitive to it. See, then there you
Now,
go. There's always a food
um,
source. But
shenanigan, you don't eat grass. I'll tell you why. Your stomach cannot digest it. Point blank. Um, Back in the day, when the potato famine went down, they found people that were dead, and they had green stain around their mouths, and it was adult men, women, even children, and they couldn't figure out for the longest time what it was, what that green stuff was from, the stain was from. It was because they were so hungry that they ate grass, and they still passed away because their stomach cannot, you cannot digest grass. Yeah, I know your stomach's got battery acid in it, but it cannot digest the grass. Cows can because they've got three stomachs. Humans can't. Okay? There are some tree barks you can eat. You can laugh all you want, but that is true. There are some that you can
yes,
eat.
there is.
Slugs, you can eat those. You know. Hi, Craig's cabin. How you doing, hon?
Hey, Craig.
Um, but uh, there are a lot of things that you can eat out in the wild if you know what to look for
Doing
and
well,
survive
Craig.
just
Thanks.
fine.
How about you? Sorry, JJ.
No, that's fine. You know that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You don't have to eat it. That's why I said there's tree bark and other stuff you can eat.
Right. Nuts and fruit, depending on if you've got snow where you're at. Hey,
Yeah.
Savvy Music Studio, how you doing?
Hey, Savvy. Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice your. That's just a waste of shenanigans. You don't want to sacrifice yourself. I'm just talking worst case. You know, worst case is there's barely anything, and all that's there. Cause that this is how it works. When there's barely anything left, what's gonna be left is the stuff that you were able to say, I don't like it, so I'm not gonna touch it or eat it or look at it. Now you're in a situation which generally does happen because I've experienced and probably others have where there's something like, you know what, I'm gonna avoid that because I can. But then when you're starving or there's nothing else where you've gone through the good stuff and then the stuff that you avoided so many years ago, it's gonna be there still waiting for you. That's just how things work. It's irony.
Yep. And you'd be surprised how many people will go, hey, I won't eat that. I won't eat that. And before you know it, they're going, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to eat that.
Yeah.
And then they might even surprise themselves because I won't eat that. I won't eat that. And then they eat it and they say thank you. They might even follow it up with, you know, that was a lot better than what I expected it to ever
Yeah, oh,
be.
that was not bad. That wasn't bad
Yeah.
at all.
Can you show me how to make that? Can you give me your recipe on how to do that? You know? I mean,
Yeah, and like you and I talked about too before, JT. There's the that forever stew. I mean, you just keep adding to it.
yeah.
May
Yes, you're
not look
right.
good, but it'll taste good and smell good.
Craig's right. There's plenty to eat out there if you're willing to learn.
Yep, exactly. There's plenty
And
out there. Hey, what's up, Vision Acres?
High Vision Acres. Craig, are you kidding me? You got one book 2 and 3. I got the first one. But
Work done on books 2 and 3. Dang, cool.
yeah. Hey, liver is good for you, but if you don't want to eat liver, cook everything out of a cast iron pan, not one of the ceramic coated cast iron pans because those defeat the purpose. Okay?
Yeah.
You cook out of an actual cast iron pan and you keep it seasoned, which means you keep it oiled so food don't stick in it. You will get your daily dose of iron every time
Yeah.
when you eat your daily meals. Okay? Um, Back in the day, you didn't never hear anything about iron deficient
Nope.
because everybody cooked out of cast iron pans. You know, so it's there's a reason why they done it, and um, the enamelware pans, those were the tin covered pans. Okay. Hi Aquarius, how you doing, hon?
Hey, Aquarius.
You know, and back in the day, you didn't have this. You know, somebody low in this, somebody low in that, and you never heard of anybody having high blood pressure due to salt.
Yeah.
And look at all the salt I mean, they use salt to preserve the meat, and then they had to rinse the meat off. They had to rinse the meat, and most people don't know this. They had to rinse the meat off before they could cook the meat. You know, so you had to wash it. You rinse your meat off quite a while before you could cook it. You know, because it had you preserved it with a lot of salt. You know, and then um, you can smoke it. You can smoke meat, and it will be okie dokie. You
Yep.
know, as long as you can keep mice and rats and other critters and insects out of it, it's good to go. You know, um, and always make sure that your food, all your food. I don't care if it's meat or what. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. Because if it's cooked all the way through, then you ain't gonna get sick. Okay? And if you're doing meat, um, butchering meat, do your cow one day, do your chickens another day, and do your pork, your piggy, another day. But clean everything off, sterilize everything off. Even if all you have is boiling hot water, that will
Yep.
still sterilize it, okay?
Yep.
And that way you will not get cross contamination. And I hate to tell y'all, but that's where the cross contamination comes from. It don't come from growing cows on your farm. It don't come from
No.
growing pigs on your farm or chickens on your farm or sheep and lambs, goats. No, that's not where you get the cross contamination. It's from the way when you butcher it, when you process it. You've got to keep it all clean in between. My grandma used to tell me about how many meals they
Hey,
made out of
whiskey.
pumpkin. I asked her why. She said, it's a pumpkin and nothing or nothing.
I
She
like
told
that.
me blackbird pies and possum coons and everything. Yes, that's how they used to do it, Aquarius. And you weren't picky.
No.
You know,
Meat was meat.
grand,
Food was
grandma
food.
fixed it. Ma fixed it, put it on the table. You were happy you got it because you might not have gotten it that day or you might not get it the next day. So you're happy that you didn't have picky and you didn't get to go to the store every other day or every day to pick up whatever. Hi, Whiskey and Sunshine. How you doing?
Yeah, it's a pretty good handle. Whiskey and sunshine. I like that. It's
And
pretty nice.
I don't let people get picky around here either. You know? I mean,
Yeah, it flecks off, and it also uh well, the iron itself. It's the iron is a metal, but it's like magnesium and zinc and all that. It over time it just comes off. So you're consuming, the iron.
your pan, it takes forever for a cast iron pan to wear out,
Hey, what's up, bros? Yeah,
you
it
know?
does.
So,
It's a slow process.
how's Grimshaw? But, and those pans were heavy for a reason, okay? I was so that way the women always kept in shape. No, it wasn't because of that. But they were heavy so that they lasted and didn't wear out, you know? They were made to last forever. And you'd be surprised how many cast iron pans are a lot older than what you think somebody has,
Yeah.
you know.
And now pans are just flimsy and weak,
Not a problem,
coated
shenanigan. I'm glad we were able
coated
to
in
help you.
chemicals.
We
Oh, cool.
reminded
There you go,
we,
shenanigan. Yeah.
we reminded her to season her cast iron. The
There you
best
go.
way to do that is after every time you use it. You know, that way you don't forget to do it because you want to keep them seasoned after you wash them. Well, if you do it right, you don't have to wash them, but yeah, clean them out and you keep them from rusting over if you keep them seasoned. Though is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Whiskey and sunshine. I love your cast iron pans too, even though I've never seen them. Yeah, Teflon. No, thank you. I don't care for Teflon. You know, I mean, sure, lightweight pans are great. They're convenience, but I'll take cast iron pans. It's like grandma's canner, water bath canner. Man, those things, they come in handy for a lot of things. Grandma didn't just use that pan for canning, She used it for a lot of other things too, you
Yeah.
know. She could go out and fill it full of garden fresh grown food, take it and sit down on the front porch and snap them peas out of it, you know, or whatever else.
Yeah, there's
But
stainless, aluminum, and copperware. Copperware, I would go with. If you don't get cast iron, or if you got cast iron too, go with copperware. Copperware is good for you too.
yeah, all the pans get pricey. It's just not stainless steel, you know. But I, you know, I like my old fashioned things that I use all the time. So, and it's kind of funny, because people say, "Oh, I got this brand new. This is the latest thing."
Yeah.
And I sit there and I kind of chuckle at them, going, "Only if you knew," you know. And here's another thing. And Aquarius um done a video, and it was about salt. And don't throw your salt out. Okay, if you don't want to use it for cooking, if it gets hard, that's fine. Okay, he found another use for his salt. But um, if it's not in a glass container, you can take and put um, like brown paper over it. And you take and hit it with a hammer or a sledgehammer. Okay, not a big one, just 3 ouncer or a 3 pounder, you know, and break it up. Put it in a container. Sit it by your stove. It what it does is it takes out the moisture, and you'll have your salt for your salt shaker or whatever, you know. Because salt never goes bad,
Right. It
and
never
it
does.
never loses its flavor either. Just so you know, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Like what flavor is your salt? Salt flavor.
well, no, not. um
I know, just joking, Jinx.
Homestead Aquarius, he's like, I'm going to use it for making weed killer, and I'm like, well, at least that's a good thing that you're using it for, you know. I don't. I have a lot of respect for Homestead Aquarius, and he knows it. After all, he gives me rides in his knee pocket on his pants all the time, so I can learn more from him. But yeah, I mean, I don't put people down, and he knows that I just had this stupid, what I call stupid trivia information, and so I shared it to his video, down the comments section. And they used to make salt in way back in the um I want to say medieval times, and it would come in cones, okay? Because rich people were the only ones that had that stuff, you know. And honey, I'm gonna give you good words because of simple fact you're the only one that'll let me ride in your knee pocket. Yeah, nobody else lets me ride in a knee pocket on their pants, so I can learn from them. Um, but they used to sell salt and sugar in cones. They were solid, and then you'd take a knife or um something and shave off what you needed to use. And in the chimneys, um, they had a little shelf, and they'd have a little bowl, and that's where they'd put their salt, and then they set it up in the chimney because then the moisture was able to stay out of it. You know, so yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just this crazy trivia stuff, but it's really helpful stuff. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and
there's a lot of people that don't understand where sea salt comes from, or the major process of it. And there's something called desalination plants. They produce hydroelectricity, and so they started employing another section of these plants, which draw out, these desalinized water, and you're left with water, chemicals, and salt. So that's essentially where most of your common sea salt comes from.
yeah, you know,
Desalination plants,
and
hydroelectricity.
I mean, I'm always learning from other people all the time. Okay, um, but when I have something that they might find interesting, I'll speak up about it. You know, yeah, and sometimes it makes them go, "Wow, I learned
Yeah,
something," and sometimes,
got your shenanigans.
sometimes
Punk
it's
salt, pink salt.
okay. Um, did you know this part about? And they'll add to it, or somebody else will come along and say, "Hey," and add something totally different, and it's all true. So I just,
Yeah, I'm a pink salt guy myself. I like it. Don't use a lot of it. It's it's a good salt because you don't need a lot of it, and you get a lot of nutritional value out of pink salt. So
I
it goes a long way.
I'm not too picky because up until back in the day, you only had salt, and it
Right.
had the iodine in it. There was no salt with iodine, salt without iodine, sea salt, this salt, that salt, yada yada salt. It was just salt, and then actually, guys, you can make your own salt flavored salt.
Yeah,
You know,
you can make your own salt. You can make your own salt. You can grow salt at home.
well,
It's
you can also go buy salt and then add the flavorings, the seasoning in it. You know, I don't know how to grow salt. I've never done that one.
I did. I learned how to do that in science in
Oh, the
fifth grade.
one the one class I couldn't take.
Yeah, I learned how to grow salt because my teacher had a chemistry set, and he goes, "Well, whoever does, finishes their math homework or the in class assignments first, or the first five, you guys can go, work on my chemistry set." So okay, so and it was incentivized. So I mean, that's why I learned how to do my work really quick. Not really become smarter, but just develop a skill. I mean, he was teaching us skill sets, and well, so my my what I'm saying is it's like building strength, mental acuity, stuff like that, your mind. But anyways, yeah, that's why I learned how to use make salt, zinc crystals, magnesium crystals. Everything's in this crystal. Everything's in a crystal form. Even
Right.
iron. Everything is in a crystal form.
Right. Well, that's why when when iron oh, it changes, and you can take a hammer or something, hit it, and it'll pop and break apart because the molecules change and line up.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that part.
No, you're right. You're right, JT. Like it's something. Let's just say it's a crystal, like a regular crystalline structure. The common crystal we get. What we call crystal or quartz. Uh,
Yeah.
you change one little molecule, and it's not quartz anymore. It becomes a different artificial crystal structure, a crystalline structure now. It's not crystal anymore. Just like our periodic table, a lot of those materials or minerals on a periodic table are not natural. They're man-made because we figured out how to manipulate crystals, the atomic, the quote-unquote atomic structure of things, the makeup.
Hi, Nana. Crazy Life, Donna, J, Griggs. How you doing? Um,
Well,
that's cool, Rose. That the ladies were able to go to the ocean and get the water and cook off the water to get the salt.
yep, that's what
But
desalinization is.
not everybody lives close enough.
Yeah,
You know.
Nana. Hey, Nana. Dana. No, you're not wrong, shenanigans. But the thing is, like I said, if you learn how to do things at home, like grow your own salt, you make salt in a brine, just like you do a lot of other crystalline structures, silver, uh, zinc, magnesium, iron. You can grow that stuff in water. You just gotta ionize it. It's just ionization and having the materials to make it. But you can make pink Himalayan. You can make pink salt, not Himalayan, but just pink salt at home. There's just small things to think about. You can do all this stuff at home because there's salt farms. There are literal salt farms where people are paid very little to manage salt farms, and they're walking in this brine every day. And it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. You see their
Well,
feet.
look at the what is that? The Saltine Flats or the Salton Seas.
Yeah, the salt
You know.
flats you're talking about. Yeah, I know
Right.
what you're talking about.
Right. And there's all that salt. Well, they used to harvest it.
Yeah,
Because it was from the ocean. Now the water's drying up and all the salt's left behind. You know, but people
yep,
don't use it. They just leave it lay.
yeah, because they don't want to process it. Because yeah, that salt does have debris, dirt, stuff in it. They don't want to process it, and it's healthier salt because it's from the earth. It's not. It's not farm salt like someone who's growing on salt because salt farms now add more chemicals to what increase their yield. So when they add chemicals to increase the yield, well, then you're consuming those chemicals. Just like we were talking about pans. Pans that are coated with ceramics and Teflon and a bunch of other space age technologies that make non-stick, quote unquote non-stick pans. Those are chemicals, unnatural chemicals that we're not supposed to be really consuming or have it leach onto our food. Same thing with salt and sugar. Table salt,
Right.
table sugar, that's all full of chemicals. I mean,
I
one
like
great way. Go ahead, JT. Go ahead.
I like the non-chemical stuff.
Me too,
You know,
for the most
because
part.
then I can say yes. I got salt, and that's all there is to say. I got, okay? Or I made homemade candy and show you the recipe, and you can read that recipe off and you can pronounce everything I used in that recipe. No
Yeah, some of us
chemicals
do
required,
shenanigans. Some of us
you
do use
know?
colloidal. You can also make your own colloidal.
Yeah, they have those, they sell the machines on how to do that stuff.
Yeah, you can do the quick buy and buy the equipment, or learn how to make it yourself from pretty much useless, crappy desktop components and a soldering gun. That's all you need.
I don't have the soldering gun.
I don't. Neither do I. I still need to get one of those. I just been putting it off because I know they're everywhere. So
I
if
don't
I
have
ever
this.
need one,
I don't have the silver rods either. Gee, now I feel like I'm really left out. Aquarius even knows what and uses it. Oh,
what colloidal?
yeah. Sorry,
It's
it
silver.
hasn't gotten to my dungeon cave yet.
Jeez, it's just silver soul. It's water with nano silver in it. That's all it is. Something so simple that does help with the flu, a cold, a fever, any kind of pretty much any ailment or surface wounds. You know what you would call a flesh wound.
Right.
Uh, Something so minuscule like that. You know, nano silver particles in water. You know, works well. Not just any water, distilled or uh, as pure water
Purify.
as you can get. Yeah, as pure water as you can get. You don't want any other stuff in it. So either distilled or what is the name of the other water? Not purified. It's pure water, like distilled on. Well, anyways, yeah, it might as long as there's no other contaminants, which would be like mineral, like mineral water. It's not going to work really. You want the pure silver in that water, nothing else.
Well, I have a water purifier, so I've got one part of the puzzle.
Yeah, but if
You
you could
know.
just if you do purified water, it's fine. But the least other contaminants will allow the silver to do its job.
Piece of silver and immunize, immerse in water with like a gator clip on water holding it in. People use coins and other stuff. Scores
Yeah,
power in 2 hours to gator clip.
yeah.
Hi,
There's
Scott.
two.
Sorry.
Huh?
Rambling with the
Oh,
wrong Scott's in.
oh, okay.
Oh,
Hey, rumbling. Yeah, I don't know his name, so I was looking for Scott. Like, where? There's a Scott. Where?
he's in the
Oh,
chat room.
rambling. What's up, rambling? But yeah, I was gonna say there's three kinds of silver, but the two common are pure silver, which is the silver with three nines, so 0.999 silver, which you can make at home. Going by what Rose is sharing. Then you have medical grade silver, which is your silver. You can use in your silver sol or colloidal silver, and that's silver with four nines, so it's a 0.49999 or 0.9999. Sorry, so four nines. That's your medical grade sol silver. That's what you use for your colloidal silver or your silver sol, not the three nines, but the four nines.
Um, Rambling Scott. God's Night is just a good friend of mine. Okay. I live in Iowa. He lives out in Cali. You know, so we just get on and talk and visit and talk with everybody in the room. You know, I merged and bought the silver lung generator. Still haven't used it. I need a good place to set it up in a clean room or booth. Wow. Never heard of a silver
Merged
lung generator.
and bought the silver lungs.
Never ever heard of that one.
Yeah, neither have I. That's unless there's a name for it, and because I'm unaware of the name. I mean, I'm unaware of the name for most of the things when people. I mean, I essentially learned how to grow silver at home just by watching videos. But
Hi, Black
they
Tropic
said
Homestead.
they said that the components. Hey, what's up, Black Tropical? That the components pretty much are desktop PC components. So I know as a fan, stuff like that. Some people use an agitator, some don't. And a lot of them use silver shot and a brine. So I'm not sure what silver lungs. I've never heard them say silver lungs, so I'm not too sure what that is. Find out right now, though.
Mr. Homestead Aquarius, would you like to come on and explain this to us? I'll give you the link if you do. It's up to
Silver lung
you.
coil silver generator. Silver lungs. Oh, okay. So essentially, what it is, it's like a breathing treatment. You make your colloidal silver, and you know how like you use like for example, asthmatics when they go to the hospital, they give them that breathing treatment with the albuterol and all that stuff, the liquid.
Right.
It's essentially the same thing. You process your silver, and then you put it in this little device, and you breathe in the colloidal silver. Kind of like how AJ had, he had the sprayable colloidal silver. It's pretty much the same thing. You pretty much kind of inhale the silver, the colloidal silver mist, and it gets into your lungs, and it helps clean it out. You
It
know,
gets it into your system faster.
exactly that too. I mean, another way is through the blood, but I mean, the lungs is
Right,
just as
but
quick.
right, because the lungs and the heart and all of that, the
Yep.
head and that goes back through your blood system the rest of the way.
Well, see, there's
Yeah.
something I didn't know about that Aquarius talked about. So,
Well, that's why I
silver
asked him
lung
if he'd
generator.
like to come on and talk about this because, you know, he's like me. He doesn't like to show anything more than a foot or hands, you know. And that's cool because it makes my day. I'm not the only one
Yeah.
that likes to do it that way.
Yeah, that's good right there, Aquarius. You don't want sketchy shit because then you're gonna damage yourself or not
Right.
know what you're doing.
Man, I'm gonna have to get a notebook when I go in his knee pocket from now on. It'll be drawn full of stick people doing things, but hey, I'll understand my notes.
Well, that was
I
good to
mean,
know. I didn't know that they developed a system like that where you can just inhale the silver soul or the colloidal silver now in a breathing treatment. That's
well,
cool.
what I'm wondering is if you have what the heck is that machine called? The nebulizer. Okay, if you have a nebulizer, would you be able to use that for the breathing treatment?
You should be able to. It's the same thing because it's in a liquid. It's in a liquid base
I'm not that big.
fluid.
Remember, I'm short, very short, and I'm
I
not a
have a
big
big knee
person.
pocket.
Yeah, you might need a big knee pocket just so I can take my drawing pad and take my notes.
Dana, 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 Dana. Yeah, that's neat though. Imagine if hospitals offered that same treatment for people who had lung issues or came in, with some kind of ailment, and I know some do, like private practitioners. Uh, they do the vitamin C, the vitamin D, all that stuff that's good for you, rather than use pharmaceutical garbage that does more damage or causes dependency.
Homestead Aquarius does use it in a nebulizer from
Yeah, so I'm
time to
saying
time.
you could because it's a water, it's a fluid base. You just pop it
Right.
in, let the nebulizer do its job.
I went to a doctor's office or to the emergency room one time, and um, it wasn't even for breathing, and the doctor ordered a breathing treatment, and it just had water in it. That's all that it had in it. It got done, and the nurse looked at me and says, "So, are you breathing any better?" I said I didn't have problems breathing to start with, and she says, "I know." But the doctor didn't pay attention to what the problem was. He just wanted to see and say what he wanted it to be.
Yep.
So,
I'm a doctor. I know best. I'm a police officer. I know best. I'm vice president of the United States. I know best. I was like, no, you don't. No, you
I'm
don't.
I'm me. I don't always know best, but I'm willing to learn, you know.
I'm the first. Uh, I'm the first female rear admiral ever in history. History. I know best.
Ha!
No thanks. I'll pass on it.
I made suspenders.
Suspenders.
Suspenders, okay? These are magic suspenders. They can suspend you from activities. They can suspend you from being even a viewer.
Yeah.
But I invented them, so I know the best. Okay, I'm being polite.
Yep.
If I
So
get
was
in
that
a
because I wasn't saying names or nothing about the first ever rear admiral female thing
oh,
that's
that's so
pretending to be
cool,
female.
Aquarius. That's really cool. That's one way to make sure you don't get whatever it is that's going around too. You know.
Yep. Yep.
Ooh.
The beer flu. Yep. It's a good way to say it.
I hope he's better. I gotta find out what it. Vex says that it capital letters.
Yeah. It. 106 years old. Dang.
Holy cows. Wow. He's a spring chicken.
It's a good way to say it.
No, I'm
I
sorry,
put
but
a spray nozzle on my kaleidoscope, and he just says, "Yeah." Vex just says it after his last post. Information technology, yeah, IT.
usually there's a you're it before you take somebody, Vex. Just saying. But 100. Okay, when people get up like in age in the 90s and older, I don't disrespect them. I just call them spring chickens. Why? Because not everybody gets to live that old,
Nope.
to reach that age. So it's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so happy for him.
Tropical had someone that was 108. They passed away at 108. Dang.
Yeah. Hot dogs. Oh, sorry to hear that she passed away on her 108th birthday. But you know what? When they get up there in the years, even if they're in their 90s, they've got so much history that they've lived through.
Oh yeah.
You know, he was talking about the new thing appointed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. He was just adding on to what I said with it. I get it now.
Okay, I'm just here twiddling my thumb, looking like I know something. Oh wait, you can't see me. Uh, but yeah, um, I was lucky, and I knew my grandma, and my granddad when I was younger. Um, and they didn't really talk much about their growing up, but they taught me a lot about how they done things, you know. Um, so it helped me to be who I am, you know. And if I had questions, I would ask, but I wasn't a child or somebody that asked questions because I didn't feel like I should poke in, you know. It might upset them. So when it was something like bacon or something like that, then I would ask. It didn't bother me, you know.
Yeah, that's good that they're doing that. They're not supposed to, according to the federal government, but it's good that they do anyways. Doing the right thing is the right thing right now.
What
Punishing yourself or censoring yourself is not the right thing to do right now.
what is the ivermectin?
It's what it is, JT. He's just trying not to say it so you don't get shadow screwed with by
Okay,
YouTube.
because I know about
The horse paste, that stuff.
yeah, um, because I know about vitamin C. You know,
I mean, me, like I told you, JT, all I do if I start feeling really bad, I'll drink half. Well, let's say what I get them in a pint. So throughout the whole day, I'll drink a pint of tonic water, and I'll have my vitamin C, my vitamin D, and my multivitamins, and I'm good. I'm good because I keep my body constantly filled with that, processing through my body.
when I don't feel good, everybody's gonna laugh at me. I will, like I'll do it in the wintertime, especially before we go to town or whatever. I will make a cup of cedar tea, and it will kill anything and everything.
Yep,
But you gotta be careful when you do cedar tea because it can be toxic.
it's too
So,
strong,
it can actually poison you.
too
You
strong.
know. So it's an old Native American way of doing it. But the Native Americans also gave this stuff to the Europeans. It killed off a bunch of their sexual diseases and stuff. So, you know. And
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for Walmart shenanigans because Walmart, yeah, generally doesn't deal with. I don't want to say organic, but more like pure sourced options. They're all junk, pretty much. You would have to do your research for that. 'Cause I don't want to say something and then you get something and you get sick or or something. So I suggest just do your research on certain products that Walmart has and then compare it to a product that you're aware of that's generally good.
um the reason I don't do too much of the over the counter stuff and that, even prescriptions, is because I have a weird body.
All right,
It
Rose.
don't like to accept the medicine, and it will attack it to where when it finally does give in, the medicine don't work. Or I react to it really, really bad, and that's not fun either. So,
Because me personally, I don't use the fish biotics. I just stick with vitamin C, sunlight, a healthy diet, or as healthy as possible, and multivitamin.
Nana, what do you mean you have breathing problems with you guys suggest? I We're not your doctor. We're not telling you what to do for breathing. Um because we don't know what your problem is. For one, and
Right.
two, I'm not a doctor. You know, um, when it was my kids and they had colds or chest colds or sinuses, I always put Vicks on them. I even put Vicks on their feet and then put socks on.
Yeah, Aquarius. I own one. I bought one too because when the whole Sarasa virus broke out, the outbreak, the quote unquote outbreak. I bought one of those, and I looked into food grade or food grade. Oh shoot! I was just talking with Homestead a couple or shenanigans. Oh, peroxide, food grade peroxide. One you can consume. Well, you dilute it with water or saline, whatever you want to use, and you put it in there, and you can breathe in that peroxide. It's safe. So, I mean, I did that the first time, but I was like, you know what? I really don't even need this because I'm wasting the money. And I was like, oh, you know what? Drink or consume anything that has quinine and make sure your vitamin C, D, magnesium, zinc, all
Right.
that stuff is pretty high in your body, and you'll be fine because it stays in your body for so long, and you just replace it every other day just to be safe,
We
and you don't have to
we
be all fancy and technical. Go ahead, JT.
we're not medical anything. We're not given medical advice. Um,
Correct.
Nana, you have COPD. Okay, I know that's a breathing problem.
Yes,
Um,
my
and that's
stepmom has that.
I I don't know that much about it personally firsthand. It's just I know some people that have it. They don't discuss it with me. Um,
It's
I know
100% Aquarius.
you can't play games with that.
No.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, you would have to just seek medical
medical,
consultation, at least
yeah,
shoot, what do they call it?
because
Two opinions. Two different opinions from
yeah,
two
you
different
you
doctors.
want you want to get your first opinion from one doctor. You want to go to another doctor and get a second opinion, maybe even a third doctor and get another
Yeah,
opinion. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: what works for one might not work for another one.
correct.
Because to me that is an you have to treat the person individually because not all situations are the same. I might be wrong on that. I don't know.
That's fair, Nana. That's fine. We're just trying to help you the best we can without
Right, we're
you know
trying to be honest with you, sweetie.
yeah, we don't want to get you or anybody hurt by our own. Just like JT said, what works for her may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for her. And
Right.
Aquarius said, do your research. That's the best thing you can do is do your research and seek medical opinion. Several, if you have to. By no means am I a doctor. I just go by my own experience and what works for me.
Trust me, not everybody's got a messed up system like I have. But that's okay. I do what I my body reacts better to the natural than it does to the man-made
Yeah, same here.
uh, medications, I guess you'd call it. So however, I can't take penicillin, but I can take amoxicillin. And because of the home remedies I use, I can I don't usually have to go over amoxicillin for medicine. And peppermint, sorry, but peppermint, you want to be careful with that stuff. You want to be careful with all the mint stuff. If you try using cinnamon, you're gonna have to be very careful with it, as we found out, haven't we, God tonight?
Yeah. Well, for you, anyways.
Yeah. Because your body's gonna build up an immunity to it, and then
Yep.
you'll start getting side effects, allergy, alert. What's the word? Allergic reactions. That's all I can think of. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, research, medical opinion from doctors, even seek yeah, I mean, if you have them around, naturopaths and holistic practitioners. If you're gonna look for the the more natural, more quote unquote organic, because some people still like to use that, so I'll throw it out there still. But it's really just natural medicine, natural cures, natural remedies. You'll be amazed how well your body will respond to more natural treatments and remedies than it is to pharmaceuticals, because your pharmaceuticals just do damage. They just do irreparable damage.
Your body fights them.
Yep,
Okay. When you
because
when
they're
you use
unnatural.
when you use man-made medicine, it's fighting your body to do what they want it to do. When they tell you to use something that's natural, what a lot of people call organic nowadays, um, your body works with your body. It don't fight it.
Right.
So stack it high, they can't take it away. Right. You know, around here, one of the reasons I want to say this one of the reasons why I use cedar tea is because that tree is right in my yard. All the pollution and everything, and it's been there for hundreds of years. So through all the years, it's got everything that is natural in your area in it. So when you take it, it will work with your body. But you gotta be very careful when you drink cedar tea. So
Yeah, I was saying my stepmom, she has COPD too. So I mean, I've seen her go through it. Well, still going through it, but I
and
mean, they just give her the medical treatments at home, the nebulizer, oxygen, stuff like that.
another thing is, okay, um, I'm trying to think of something. Let's say we have
Nice
Homestead
black truck.
Aquarius has a plant and it grows in his area, okay? And God's Night has the same plant that grows in his area. And then I come along and I have the same plant that grows in
Ouch.
my area, okay? Now, the plant that grows in your area is going to be more like what your body is, okay? So, um, it will work more natural with you. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, a plant from my area won't
Freaking
work as
genetic.
good with you because it's not from your area. Okay? If any of that makes any sense.
No, trust me, Rose. I try to get my stepmom on more external, less chemical based stuff, and she just doesn't want to. She thinks it works better for her, so I let her do her thing. I can't force anybody to do something better for themselves if they don't want to. I can't, even if it's my own family, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather be on good terms and know that she's still okay and she's doing her own thing than make a divide because I want her to be around longer. You know what I mean? It sucks, but I can't make her. I can't make her, and I can't have my dad make her either. So I just leave it as it is.
Yeah, Homestead Aquarius is a seed saver.
Same
We
here. I have
just
I
Right.
have I
I
go ahead,
I've
go ahead.
I've saved seeds for years too. You know, um, and you have seeds to grow stuff with, and then you can have seeds to you know, trade if you need to.
Oh yeah, Striker. Me and JT have talked about that in depth about that. I mean, plants will grow anywhere because I mean we're talking about doing. And if humans can figure out ways to live and to continue on, plants are the same way. Plants are just as resilient or more resilient than a human being, just because they can grow anywhere. Um, I mean, too, that's a double edged sword because then they can die just as easy or they're more exposed. Same with humans. Yeah, it's going to be tainted for a while, but there's ways to treat the land if you have the ways to do it, or just find healthier soil. But in worst case scenarios, we may not even have that option. We're just going to have to grow where we can because they've been contaminating everything for so long, the water, the air. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult to find non-GMO soil,
Well, after a while,
tainted soil.
after a while, those that ruin and hurt the earth actually comes back because
Yep.
those that hurt it aren't here no more to keep hurting it,
Yeah,
and
it can
it
recover.
it recovers and it heals itself. But until those that keep hurting it aren't here anymore, you know, they're going to keep hurting it. Um, it's like here we don't put any sprays on the yard and stuff because there's a lot in your yard. If you don't spray it, that actually is medicine that grows free in your yard. You gotta
Yeah.
know how to use it. Um, there's actually enough stuff in your yard that you can live off your yard, not you know, and be healthy. And so that's how they used to. But then the government, back in the Great Depression, I think it was, maybe I'm a little wrong on that, but they signed in a law that said you could not eat grass anymore. Well, it wasn't the grass that the people were eating and surviving. It was the plants in their yard that they were eating and surviving. It was the medication that grew in their yard. They knew how to use it,
Yep.
you know. And then the government passed a bill. You couldn't do that no more. Nope. Those things we're going to call weeds, and
Yep.
we're going to
Weeds.
pass this law, and it says that you must grow grass. Well, I'm going to tell you something. That grass that everybody drools over and sprays so they don't get those weeds, you're killing the food and you're killing the medicine when you spray it. Your weeds.
Yep.
Those aren't weeds, those are food and medicine. When you grow the grass, that pretty green grass, you can't survive on grass. I don't care who you are. There is nothing nutrient, nothing healthy about grass. You're not a cow. In fact, cows didn't start eating grass. The farmers used to do what they called tree hay, okay? And they would go and they would cut branches of leaves out of their trees, the green leaves out of their trees, and they would feed that to the cows before the cows started eating grass. Just something to think about. No, Sean, you don't need slugs and snail killers, okay? Because you've got frogs and stuff and they'll eat those slugs and snails. And some of those slugs and snails are actually good for your garden. Alright? You want pollinators, you want hummingbirds, we even have rabbits, I don't care. The rabbits, they don't eat that much of my garden stuff, okay? We've watched them. Alright? But you want the bees, you want the butterflies, you want the hummingbirds. They pollinate the food in your garden that you're trying to grow for your family. So don't go beating them up and telling, get out of my garden. No. You want the bees. You want the hummingbirds. You want the butterflies. You need them as much as they need you. And the snails and the slugs, don't worry. You might have a big fat toad or a huge frog living in your garden you didn't know about. And
Lizards
what's he
too.
doing? Yeah, lizards too. What are they doing? They're eating the bugs and the stuff that you don't want in your garden. So, it's part of life cycles there, you know?
Shrek is like, no, they eat the strawberries.
They're not going to eat all of them, trust me, Striker.
Yeah, most
So,
insects are not pests. Maybe they may be like a slight obstacle or slightly destructive, but it depends on the plants you're growing too. Like JT's not wrong. Snails and slugs are beneficial for certain plants and crops in your garden and not, but they tend to attack, well, not attack, but consume whatever's there. I mean, they're living just like we are. You can control them, you can control them and deter them, but even they have their benefits.
I like that one. There is a really neat trick to saving 100% of your strawberries from other predators. Don't let the birds and bugs have them.
Exactly.
um, I'll tell you something, guys. We even had a gopher living in the garden. No, we never got rid of him. He just got funny. He was our free entertainment this year, but that's okay. You know, he didn't eat our food and we didn't eat him. So we got our food out of the garden and he didn't bother it. I mean, there were some things that he ate, like the grass and stuff, but we left some grass and weeds there for him. So that way he wouldn't eat the food. You gotta have a little give and take there, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair though, Striker. I mean, I'm from California, dude. I know what you're talking about.
We get tomato worms here too. You get
Yeah.
potato worms.
Yeah,
You get
wherever
all
that plant
kinds.
is,
Yeah.
but yeah, wherever that plant is, the pest is gonna follow along regardless. Like the potato bugs and
Hey, Sean, I'm gonna tell you a little
eggplant.
secret. Ready for this one? If you get hungry enough, that tomato worm, those potato bugs, and all that good stuff, you already got your lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Just go out and grab them. You'll still have your protein met and everything else. Just gotta watch it, because some of those caterpillars are not good caterpillars.
No, they're not.
But I'm just talking about, yeah, he's laughing at me. But I'm talking about, yeah, a little chocolate syrup, they'll slide down really good.
Just fry them in some butter.
Yeah. Pretend that you're making hors d'oeuvres, and you gotta
It's just
become
extra
bunch.
protein. Yeah,
Right.
good extra
You
protein
know,
never hurt anybody.
right. I mean, it's just one of those things.
I'm not that hungry. I won't be that hungry.
Oh, don't bank on it. Because when you get hungry, you'll eat anything. What? Rose, what? You won't eat what? Well, that's what some wants us to eat, don't ya?
Yeah,
I mean,
bug
don't get me wrong.
burgers,
Don't
bug
don't get
hot
me
dogs,
wrong. Um,
bug
I don't
steak.
go I don't go out of my way to eat bugs either, but you know, it's like they're impossible meat. If you don't know what's in it, don't eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Shenanigans. You gotta fix up your bugs. Make them like you would do like an Alfredo or spaghetti or lasagna or a stew or a soup.
Heck, put some tacos, seasoning on it. What the heck? You know? You want to make a pie with them? Okay, that's fine. Um,
Mm.
Sprinkle some pumpkin pie seasoning on it. We'll call it good.
Yeah. Oh, my good. My good. My good.
Right. My good.
All right, later, Savvy.
All right, Savvy, you have a good day. But yeah.
Crush them and put them in a salad. Right? Shenanigans like bacon bits.
You go outside and you pick your
Soy
dandelion greens. No, here's what you do. You go out to your yard, you pick your dandelion greens. So
soy.
your dandelion greens become your salad. You sprinkle your sauteed bugs on top. Put whatever dressing you want on top of that. Chow down. You just saved yourself what about $45 for a gourmet salad that the rich would pay for out
You
in
could sell that. You could sell that as a gourmet salad, JT, because you're saying it's
out
gourmet, it's fancy because it's made out of dandelion greens and
out in New York.
or in California,
You know,
chocolate covered ants,
if I start burping, you let me know because
candied
I'm
ants.
outside.
All right, candied ants.
I'm only listening to sleep. Anytime I try to type, it acts up on me. You can sit at my computer and type if you want. It's okay. I'm enjoying watching it when it's not cutting out.
That's what I'm saying, shenanigans. I haven't had them myself, but I heard that they said what I've been told they taste like raisinets, chocolate covered ants. So I mean, that's what I get from most people that try chocolate covered ants. Is they taste like raisinets.
Well, okay, go for the big black juicy ants. You don't want those little bitty ones, man. You'd be trying forever to get
Yeah,
enough of them to put chocolate on.
I was just told they taste like raisinets, man, and I'll take their word for it.
Gee, I know how to do chocolate covered raisins.
But I mean, I've had weird insects, in my past, especially survival in the military. But other than that, yeah, I mean, that's just because we had to, not because by choice. But by choice, I would probably, if I needed a snack and there was nothing available, or I didn't want to burn through my own provisions, I would live off the land. Pursue.
Well, like out in California and some of the richy rich places in California, where the movie stars and those kind of people go. Um, hey, that wasn't nice. Um, they've had like chocolate covered ants and grasshoppers. And how about the cockroaches and the suckers? You know?
Yeah, and the scorpions. They had little
Yeah.
scorpions in them too. Little spiders. Yeah, I know what you're talking about those Mexican tequila candies.
If I was gonna eat anything out of the tequila, it'd be the worms, and those aren't bad. Because you don't taste the tequila, you don't taste the worms. And they don't give you visions. So, you
No,
know,
I've never seen that ad.
which adds up.
They said something about an ad on YouTube where this old dude selling that really thick survival book. It starts out with wild lettuce.
I don't, on my browser, I don't get ads. Because I got tired of Google's lovely stuff a long time ago. Boy, it's kind of cold out here. I come out for a quick smoke and The roof threw a water drop right on my cigarette. How rude of it.
It's like, yeah, no smoking. I'm trying to save your life here.
Yeah,
Trying to douse your cigarette.
it did too. But that's okay, it's drying out. There ain't that, I mean, there's enough room that I actually fit underneath the edge of the roof that sticks over. You know how the roof does that on houses?
Yeah.
Most people can't fit in that area. I do.
Really shenanigans. It's fine though, as long as you learn that what we consume that seems domesticated, like a domestic fruit, vegetable, or animal, there's actually a wild version of it. Cucumber, potato.
Yeah, volunteers. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Now it's time to warm up.
I mean
Hi, Conan.
that's how our ancestors got their food. You bring it into your farm or a village or somewhere small, then you just start growing it there. So it becomes a domesticated item. It's not wild anymore. So domestication changes the way, because I mean, as humans, we learn how to graft plants and animals, and to make it more resilient, to grow larger yield, whatever we do to manipulate that thing. So when you see it out in the wild, it's like, this is a potato, this is a cucumber. What? It's like,
Hey,
yeah,
Conan.
that's the wild version.
Or Cannon. Was that by any chance um ad for the Lost Ways book that you watched?
Yep. Genetic manipulation.
Um, Knowing how to do things the old way is really good to know and actually use during modern times.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why when I started this channel, it wasn't so much I thought it was. It wasn't so much um to be on YouTube, just to be on YouTube. When I started this channel, it was because I'd watched a lot of homesteaders and they would talk about knowing how to do leather is a wise, is a good skill to know how to do. And that's all they'd say. They didn't show you, they didn't touch the subject. And I was like, hey, I know how to do this stuff so I can show and I can, you know, help people get interested and learn how to do it. Um, it's like the other stuff that I do is what I call filling in the gaps that other people they'll speak about, but they don't really show, you know.
Yeah, that's right, shenanigans. I remember you asking, "Oh, can I eat wild onions?" And we're like, "Sure, you can." I mean, it's onion. It's not going to be like your store bought onion. It may be even sweeter or bitter. It just depends on your soil and what it's been, being fed. But you
Right.
can eat those. You can eat those.
And not only that, shenanigan, you can go out when it gets a flower on it
Yeah.
and collect the seeds off of it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Conan was that book. Um, and I'll tell you something. I've got the books,
Yeah, I have it too.
and
I have this lost
um,
ways.
they are very accurate. That's why I bought it was to see because I used to do reenactments. Okay, and my late husband and I, we didn't just do them on the weekends. We actually used it in our daily life. We had a house that was set up to function no matter what. And you look around, you don't see too many houses with chimneys on them anymore. You know. Well, then I was pronouncing it right the first time, Conan.
Yeah. Conan
Sorry,
O'Brien.
but
Yeah, I mean, I've seen wild. almonds, almond trees grow in the wild, oranges, like random trees here and there. Because you gotta remember, when birds are eating whatever falls off the trees or on the trees, they're consuming the seed because they're animals. But their design is to, keep shit growing or stuff growing. So like when they poop, that seed's already fertilized, covered in fertilizer, so it drops in the ground and it germinates and starts budding and becoming a sapling. And there's been weird places out in the mountains where I've seen random wild almond trees, and they don't look like the ones in orchards because that's their natural form, not a grafted, genetically modified form. They
Right.
don't have the because our almond trees here are have well, let's say three quarters almond tree and one quarter orange tree, only because the base of the orange tree and the roots dig in deep and grab on tight to the soil and whatever's there. So when we get flooding or heavy rains, they don't topple over. Almond tree roots, the base of the almond tree is weaker than the orange tree, so that's the only reason why they graft the almond. Well, then, but two almonds grow bigger, and you can manipulate the size of the almonds as well, depending on how you graft it. But natural almonds, they're small. They're not very big. They're small, like two
Um,
peas put together, or like a peanut.
Homestead Aquarius, I have a favorite wild med lady I have followed for years. She is the wild lettuce professor, in my honest opinion. Her name is Tennessee woman Ta- Tanya Neal.
Welcome back, Abby.
Um, so you guys might want to go follow that channel
Yeah, I'm
and
in
follow
California, Conan.
Mr. Homestead Aquarius because he rocks it, with what he teaches and stuff too, and talks about, you know. Welcome back, Abby. You know you're always welcome here, hon. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, birds are great at spreading different species of plants, and I think honestly that's a good thing because that I mean, like I said again, that's one of their functions. You get stuff that you may not see that's 20 miles away, 100 miles away, 1,000 miles away, because birds migrate very long distances.
Um, Conan, I can't honestly tell you because it's a simple fact, and it's the truth. I don't get those ads. I know that's
Yeah,
bad, but
I never seen the
I uh
Tesla battery one.
I don't get ads, period. You know. It's kind of like when my kids were little and they had a fit over um the ads because it interrupted their television shows. So, you know.
Yeah, you're right there, GT.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I was doing something.
Ah.
I was doing my feeble attempt to multitasking. But no, I don't I honestly don't get ads with my program that I use.
Yeah, and I don't really get ads either on YouTube. I don't know. Depending on who I'm watching too, I may get an ad, I may not. So I have unless he's
Scrimp,
talking about the ads embedded in the videos.
I don't even get them.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, if somebody does an ad like a sponsorship, we're being sponsored by Joe Blow and the Economic Flow,
Oh, you
and
mean yeah?
this is
He's
their
talking about
product,
the
you know,
yeah.
then
Conan's
I
talking
will
about
get
wind
them.
turbine. Yeah, wind
But
turbines are
otherwise,
bad. Sorry, JT.
I uh I only have Brave browser, so I don't get none of those ads, and it's free.
Yeah, because it's on browser. You said if it's on the phone app,
Oh,
which
I
I
don't.
do. I rarely get ads on the app because I use my phone. I don't use my laptop.
I yes, I have a. I use my laptop. I don't have a phone.
She has a
I have.
dumb phone.
Yeah, I have my stupid phone. It's great. Their apps don't work with it. You know. Um. It's just the way I like my life. I like to keep things.
Yeah,
I don't need to be attached to the internet all the time. Okay, I
same
like
here.
to have it where if I want the internet, I'll be on my laptop. Um, if I don't want the internet, then I won't be on my laptop. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Chris even said it don't matter if you've got a 15-minute video that you've got um, ads in them every 5 seconds to watch a 15-minute video.
Yeah, because YouTube embeds them now. It's not like you're the creator. Oh, I got 20 advertisements. Which two do I want to put in? No, YouTube does it automatically.
Yeah, YouTube it makes money even if they um what is that called? Unmonetize you.
Yep, they
Okay?
still make money off
They
it.
still make money because they're putting the ads in the videos or to the videos. Okay? You don't have a say on it, but they're making money off of your videos.
Yeah, you're
That's
right,
why
Vex. Or
that's
oh, Vex is right too. But I was talking about Conan. Yeah, you're right because the wind turbines, it is fact. I mean, there's statistics out there and studies and whatever you want to call it, and just people's observations. Birds are dying to these wind turbines because one, birds really don't recognize them. Two, they think they're faster than the blades. Three, uh, those blades when they're moving, they don't look like they're moving fast, but they're generating force which pulls the birds into them, which is unfortunate. And yeah, it does damage the population of not even the population, the balance of the ecosystem. It damages that balance just by losing birds.
I just thought of something reading Conan's last comment here. Um and I'll explain what I was thinking. He said it's not that bad, not every 5 seconds, but yeah, even if you're not monetized, they put ads in anyway. Yeah, sometimes they do, but
Yeah,
if you have a video that's less than a minute, they really play hardball putting it in there, don't they?
but windmills are good, like the actual windmills, because they either are used to generate, let's say, perpetual energy, but not quite. But it's a natural form of energy. Plus, they use windmills for grinding, which is good, and they're not as bad as a wind turbine because they're not all grouped up together. It's like one windmill per city, back then, or however they did it, or on the amount of farmland. So they had to ground or make flour, or whatever they needed, cornmeal, whatever they needed to grind. I mean,
Um,
that was an industrial way for them to grind things instead of by hand.
on our farm when I was a child, we had a windmill and it was hooked up to the pump,
Yeah,
okay? And that's how you ran your, you know, that's how you ran the water down to the barn and stuff. And at first you had to pump it down, suck it up with a hand pump. All right. And then later on, they put engines on them so that you just go out and flip the switch and you run for however long you needed and
I
shut it
know.
off.
That's a
Okay.
crazy conspiracy shenanigans.
And then back, we had a granary. Okay. Well, it had electricity to it. So you just flip the motor on when you needed to grind your grain. And then you'd carry it out of the granary. And that's how but back before they had those kind of granaries, they had a horse that walked around in a circle and it was hooked up to a pipe, okay, or bar, and the horse would walk around in circles. Well, the bar went in and it had gears and stuff on it, and it hooked into the gears and stuff that was inside the granary, and that's how they used to grind the grain.
Right. It was called milling. That's the word I wanted to
Right.
use.
And it's kind of like the windmills that were actually used to grind the grains.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to differentiate, with I wasn't trying to correct Conan. I just wanted him to, get that differentiation out there because I mean, they try to call them windmills, but they're not. They're not doing any kind of service or process other than taking up so many materials and cost, taxpayer cost just to make these useless things. And then we're better off making regular windmills. Shit, why don't we just do regular windmills? Let people use them instead of having to go buy their own flour. Let communities that don't rely on modern technology use these windmills. Something beneficial, not just killing off bird populations and throwing the
Well,
Earth's ecosystem out of whack.
the new modern windmills, they don't, they when they decide to shut them off and not use them anymore, they just leave them and then they
Yeah, they
fall
leave them,
apart. They
but
deteriorate,
they're
you
useless
know.
in all aspects. When there's a freeze,
And
they 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 stop.
I don't understand why the farmers quit using windmills, because yeah, okay, you have your electricity, but it's kind of like the phone companies, okay? A lot of the phone companies, when the digital phones service came along, that was it. They got rid of all the analog phone stuff,
Yeah,
all right?
we went to digital.
And went to digital. But the smartphone companies, they kept their analog phone
Yep.
systems and incorporated it with the digital. So then if the digital goes down, guess what, guys? Those that still have the analog hooked up, they still have phone service for their customers.
Guess what? Our government does the same thing. They have the old technology ready to go just in case advanced technology takes a crap, and it is. It's by design.
It's like this one old lady. She had a tax preparer business, okay? And when she sold it, the person she sold it to, she says, "Now, I'll sell my business
That's
to you
correct,
because
Conan.
I'm retiring, but she says I want you to promise me that you will, you can use the computers to do things, but you will take the time and do everything on paper so you've got backup. So if that computer takes a crap, you don't miss out on your business. You still have it."
Yep. Yeah, Conan and Aquarius are both right. I mean, the wind turbines are designed to be a failure, point blank. And closer to home or domestic energy turbines, like wind turbines that are on your property, those are the best things because they're smaller, and like you said, it's bird friendly, and so you're not losing energy along the way when the power is moving through these lines for miles and miles and miles. I mean, you got to remember that, and electricity doesn't stay in these wires when it's traveling a long distance. It starts to dissipate. You're losing wattage as it's
Right.
traveling. So the closer the sources to your home, the better it is. But they could have done this. They could have done this. And me and Vex talked about it too with other people. I have with other people. And he said it too. If you have solar on your house for you, it's great. It's great. That's the way it should be. But if you rely on solar farms, you're you're paying money. You're paying more money out for less energy if you think about it, because they have to pull 3 to 2 times more energy when it's going from a solar farm that's 1,500, 300 miles away to bring you that service. So you're better off getting off the grid and getting your own little wind turbines, smaller sized ones, solar panels, and all this stuff. And the other thing you were talking about was water mills. Water mills are great too. If you're by a source of flowing water, a good source of flowing water.
And Conan, you are also right. Tech is a tool.
Right.
It's too bad that the teachers in schools forgot that computers are supposed to be a tool, not a teacher. But and yeah, if a knife, you can prepare a nice meal with it, or you can do something horrible. You know, you can do that with manual tools too. Anything, you know. And Homestead Aquarius, except for the rooftop turbines, um, I don't have one of those. But I don't own this house either.
Yeah.
So I do have some solar panels and small generators, and when I say small, I can pick them up and carry them one handed. But I have those, so it can we can use those and kick down the light bill and stuff because they take, and this is another thing a lot of people don't get. They shut your electricity off. Nation, global area is shutting it off, and your electricity is needed to run that gas furnace. So if your electricity's down, guess what? That gas furnace is now useless. It will, because it's got electrical start on it, okay? And when it gets so hot, it shuts off, right? But if that and it's got the blower on it, to blow the heat around. But if the electricity isn't there, one, it can't turn on to start the fire to heat your house. Two, the blower can't work to blow it around in your house. And three, the heat stays in your furnace, it'll just burn your furnace up. You know, gonna get a hamster and a wheel generator soon to run to run my power needs.
The hamster.
As
Yeah,
long
you
as
just
you,
gotta feed the you just gotta feed that hamster seed and some nuts and well yeah, seed and water and they're good. They're happy.
as long as he doesn't tell me that I have to get out of the pocket and run in the
Oh jeez.
hamster cage, I'm good.
I need a break. You run in there for a while.
Right.
Well, see, I got the idea of like when me and Vex would talk about it. I mean, people had their own personal, legit, like actual solar powered system. You know, with the reserves and the power station and the charging bank. You know, where all your batteries are stored for the storable energy. Things would be great. We would have no energy dependency. We would have less nuclear, less coal. What people are complaining about, like, oh, you're burning so much coal to make power, or these thousands of nuclear reactors we have in our country alone, in our nation.
Okay, Aquarius, I'll see you later, hon.
All right, later,
I
Aquarius.
No, I'm not a genetic modified large hamster. I'm a short little person.
GMO hamster.
I'm not a very big person at all. That's why I fit in Aquarius's knee pocket on the side of his pants. Because I really am a small person.
But if each home had their own independent energy source, we would all be great. We would have been not having all these issues. We would not have to worry about electric bills or electric companies shutting off our electricity because past due bills or the grid goes down. Everybody would be self sufficient.
um, yeah, they used to use coal to heat houses and stuff. Now, here's the magical thing about coal. All right, they used to fix a contraption and they put it on the cores back when the gas was short, and it would they would burn coal in it, and then they'd hook up a tube, and it would run into um another thing where you had grass in that to take the impurities out of the smoke from the coal, and then it go into another area which had like a radiator from a car engine so it could purify it, and then they'd hook it onto another pipe that went to your gas tank on your vehicle because they were making coal gas. They were using that, and that coal gas actually ran their vehicles. Now they could take and drive them around in the country, but they couldn't take them and drive them in town. Meanwhile, the town they had um, the the gas that was in the blow up tanks and the hydrogen gas. Well, they couldn't drive those vehicles out to the country because you had to fill up with the gas every so often too. I need to power a light, fan, CPAC machine, and phone. That's all I need. Aquarius, You need a yeah, you can run a CPAC on those little solar generators like the ones I've got. And your fan. You can light your phones, charge your phones on them. But you would want one that you can use while you've got it hooked up to your solar. Um, Trust me. Whew.
Yeah, the United Rose is right. In the United States, our coal-powered plants have are so advanced, even today's standards from back in early 2000s, when there's like, oh, you got to have all these up-to-date scrubbers and purification and blah 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 for the air. Well, they were so advanced back then that we could still run those coal plants now and still meet their standards. It's just
Homestead
like medication,
Aquarius,
like medic.
e- email me and I
Right
might be
there,
able to help
Aquarius.
you. I won't make anything off of it. I promise. I'd never do, but I might be able to help you find the solar generator. That would work for what you need. Okay. So my email's on my about page. You know, you can email me and I won't give it out to anybody. You know that. But I'll try to help you figure out what as much as I can. And I don't have a lot of money, so you got to know that, you know, I'm not going to tell you to get a real fancy expensive thing. You know what I'm saying?
Freaking
So,
shenanigans. Drink coffee. I'm making a coffee right now too.
but I will talk with you soon, okay? Homestead Aquarius.
Because there's things about
Oh,
uh what, JT?
I guess we're so exciting that we're putting shenanigans to sleep.
Oh, I know. She's so bored. She's like, I know this stuff. I know all this stuff. Why are you guys repeating what I know?
Because not everybody knows.
Yeah,
And not only that,
I'm just saying.
somebody
I'm just joking.
somebody might come in that knows something we don't know, you know? So we're here to also learn from whoever that person is too.
Yep.
And every once in a while it is nice to know that we're not the only ones that think away about something. So yeah.
Yeah.
It can be, but at the same time,
Oh yeah, that's right. You have a
um
3:30 schedule. Forgot about that.
yeah, it go take a nap, shenanigan.
Yeah, that's why she's nodding on.
It's okay. We're not gonna be upset with you.
Nope.
It can be a huge investment up front, but depending on what you go to get, because you can start out small and work and add to it as you go if you want to, you know. But you got to do it within what you can afford, not what
Yeah.
somebody else can afford. You know, I mean, because what John Henry's income is, I can guarantee you ain't close to what mine is. You know,
Yeah.
so
They won't let me nap. Climb into the attic or the basement. Find somewhere safe. A nice little concealed corner somewhere.
crawl in the dog's cage, leave the dogs out, and you go in there. Um, but yeah, well, you're welcome, Rose.
Yeah, there's just ways of doing it though. She's just saying there's different ways to doing it. If you can't afford it, incrementally build it. Yeah, it may cost more over time, but hey, I mean that's just what you can afford. I just do what works. Some people do go all in and buy the biggest and best just so they don't have to spend the money. But yeah, they have the money available. But if you don't have it available, start small. Incrementally grow it. Yeah, over time it's gonna cost you, but hey,
Oh,
you still got that system.
okay, Conan. Here's a question. All right. You say you hate that feeling. Well, that's okay. I understand that feeling. But if you could do it a little at a time and you could afford to do it, wouldn't that be better than going deep in debt and not being able to afford it? You know? Right, shenanigans, or save until you can get what you want.
The freaking healing music.
No, I didn't see. I have not seen Tesla's battery ads. Um, so I don't have a clue about his stuff.
Well, see, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, Conan, but I suggest regular lead core car batteries just because you can recharge them and continuously renew them without having to buy a brand new battery. And it's an easy, simple process. So lead core batteries aren't the best, but they're more are not that efficient either, but they last long
Um,
and you don't have to dispose of them. You can just keep renewing them.
or you, Conan, there are some solar generators that you can get that you don't have to pay a lot of money for, and they're um they're not lead batteries. They're not real huge units, but if you need um to power stuff, like a refrigerator, you can get small units that will power an energy efficient full size refrigerator and small chest freezer, and it don't cost you a lot of money to get them either. You know, I mean, we're trying to tell you that hey, it's okay. Not all of us are rich.
Me too.
Trust me when I say not all of us are rich. I am not rich. I don't have a lot of money. I live on a fixed income. Okay? So we have to save our pennies up to get what we want.
Yeah, why buy a useless vehicle like that though, shenanigans, when you can get a regular gas diesel. The funny thing about diesel though too, most diesel engines, especially the older ones, run on mineral oil. There's still a lot of mineral oil all over the damn place, and one good source of it are transformers. Now, if you notice, electrical transformers on electrical posts are changing because somewhere along the line, someone or some brain trust or some brain think tank figured out, whoa, diesel can burn mineral oil. So, have you noticed that the transformers have gotten smaller? They're not the big round transformers anymore that are chock full of mineral oil. I mean, that's why a lot of people like or wise get diesels because you can put anything that's like close to a diesel based substance into that vehicle and it'll burn it as fuel.
The government don't pay for anything, okay? When
No,
we
they don't.
done trust me on that one, okay? I can honestly tell you this because when we done reenactments, we had people saying that the government bought our stuff and they wanted to see what the government bought. Well, the government, first of all, didn't buy any of our stuff. We either A, bought it, or B, we made it. Okay? And when people realized they were intruding into somebody's house and charges could be pressed on them, well, they stopped that real fast, don't you? But yeah, that's okay. We just, we're trying to help you. And we don't, like I said, we don't have all the answers, but there's one thing I know, okay? And a lot of people don't know it. They might think they know, but they don't know. They don't know what it's like to be poor. Okay, they might live on a fixed income, but it might be a heck of a lot larger income than what we have. All right, but I do know one thing. I'd rather get what I can afford and it not be in debt. and never see daylight again because I'm so far in debt. Okay? Save, I have to save up pennies a lot so I can get what we have to have. So, right, Conan, you're right. And that's okay. So don't feel pressured to, jump gung ho and get the big batteries and the big out. Man, I'd love to have one of those, but I don't own this house. For one. Two, I'm not going to go gung ho, jump into it, and have it hooked up to this house because I don't own it. All right. But three, when I go to bed at night, I know what we paid for ourselves, and nobody can take that away from us. You know, I can wake up in the morning, I'm not in debt. Biodiesel. Oh, you know, he's talking like about corn oil and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um and that's, how do I want to put this? Yeah, he's like corn oil or um E15 and that kind of stuff. The corn gas. That's biodiesel stuff.
Oh, corn fuel is ethanol.
Right, but he's also talking about biodiesel.
Yeah, biodiesel is anything like fat fryer oil,
Right.
anything like you said, vegetable oil, olive oil. But the thing is, with biodiesel, they add a few chemicals to make it combustible. You just can't dump regular oil in there. It has to be processed. There's a process, and you got to modify certain. Like if it's not a biodiesel engine, you have to modify a diesel engine to burn that. Just like mineral oil, some diesel engines, like I said, don't accept mineral oil well. So you kind of got to tweak it, modify it. Just like generators, you can modify your generators to burn anything as a fuel source. Yeah, anything that's oil based, but there's a process. You have to process that oil. It's just not going to spontaneously combust in the engine. It has to have a certain yield of chemical to be combustible. So once it becomes combustible, it'll burn. It has to cause a reaction because your spark plug is just not going to light motor oil. It's impossible. It has to have a chemical, and mineral oil is a process of oil processing.
The reason I said the corn gas is because of bile. Okay, bile
Mhm.
is, it can be grass.
Yeah, from a natural
Yeah,
source. Yes.
all natural sources. Okay, that's why. And corn was the only thing. I'm sorry, but
Oh
corn was
yeah,
the
Vex.
only
That's what I'm
thing.
saying, dude.
You know.
I I've been behind vehicles that smell like burritos, dude, or corn chips, because they were using biodiesel as a fuel source, and the vehicle says biodiesel. It's a biodiesel vehicle. Yeah, dude. Yep. Yep. I've been behind vehicles that smell like, oh man, that smells good. Where's that smell coming from? And it's a vehicle next to me or in front of me, and it says biodiesel on the tailgate. And I'm like, oh shit, this guy is. It smells like burritos, like fried burritos. Imagine behind the guys, smells like fish and chips. Fried fish. Freedom fries. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. California, there's a lot of biodiesel engines here or vehicles in California. And there's not a restaurant nearby, and you smell restaurant food for some reason. It's got to be a biodiesel vehicle. That's why I say about mineral oil, man. I mean, here in California, like the rural towns, there's those mineral oil transformers all over the place. It's because mineral oil is an insulator, and it does not conduct little to no electricity, so it keeps transformers from blowing up. These newer ones have so many safety failure issues. They blow up. They blow up out of nowhere. They can't handle the stress because they're not well insulated. They're cheaper, and they're removing the factor of, hey, maybe these people will get smart and bleed these transformers for fuel. Got to think about it that way. It's not for hardening the infrastructure, the grid. It's
Well,
for making it weaker.
they don't have to worry about me doing that. My vehicles don't run on gas or anything.
They're manual heel-toe express
Yeah.
powered. Yeah.
But however, if I want to make an engine sound, I can.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, think about it. How cool would that be? You're walking along, you're pulling your little wagon, and you're going, boom, 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 and everybody's looking for that Harley. And here you are with a little pull cart.
Yep. But like Conan was saying, dude, that was a smart move to get kerosene fueled heaters or generator or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he said heater. That's smart. Yeah, because when JT was talking about that coal power thing, I brought that to her. Yeah, there's moisture, and then the byproduct of burning coal is kerosene if you capture it.
No, I did not use my dumb phone to make the engine sound, Conan. That was actually me. Sorry.
No, JT is very good at sound effects. Very good.
Yeah. I used to, when I was a kid, Louis Armstrong was a big time person, and he'd always go, it's a wonderful life, So, yeah. It's all just me. I don't do high pitches, sorry.
And I know there's a lot of people. I'm one of them that try to do my own impersonation of him.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong.
I used to do it really good. I mean, I was pitch for pitch with him.
Seems like Conan's confused or something now. Do that again. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'll mute.
It was me. Okay, are you muted? I gotta check and see. It's a wonderful life. Yeah, see, it is me.
Yes, it was JT. That wasn't me. I was muted. I'm not that good of a ventriloquist.
Yeah, I learned how to. I even had a science teacher going around the room on a bright, sunny, warm winter day, looking for where the wind was coming through the windows, because I was sitting in the classroom and I was like, and I kept doing that. And the teacher went around and he kept looking at all the windows, checking to make sure they weren't open, to find this leak where it was coming from. And I was paying attention, and I was so deep into what he was saying and talking about, I didn't realize it. I just and he come over and he had some papers in his hand. He tapped me on the head. He says, "Well, I found the leak." But he was looking to see where the cold air was coming from.
That's the sound of your ancestors. What the? That's it.
No, it's actually the sound of the wind blowing through a pipe.
Do it again. Do it again.
But yeah. So
All right, sure.
I don't use voice modulators. I don't use soundboards. You want a squeaky door? I can do a squeaky door.
That reminds me of
Yes.
uh,
The garden with the weeds?
no Vix's story about his squeaky door at a job he had. They did the old guy left.
Yeah. Yeah, the old guy laughing. Okay, Sean. We'll talk with you later, babe.
All right, later, Striker. The guy with blonde dreadlocks.
Check out your Discord.
Okay. You're talking about Bobcat Goldthwait? No. Wait, yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait? I'm not sure. Guy with gold dreadlocks or blonde dreadlocks.
Blonde dreadlocks.
Laughing out the cake handkerchief guy. No. Seems a little vague. Hold on.
Huh. Hold on. I'll see. I know how to get the answers to that one.
Christy
See.
Sue. Where are you, Christy Sue?
Is your laptop working?
You haven't seen her in chat.
Fred. I don't know. I don't think it's working. Okay. The guy with the gold dreadlocks. What guy with the gold dreadlocks? I don't see anybody in here with gold dreadlocks. And I'm in God's Night Discord.
No, it's
Okay.
not with Discord. It's from Conan. Yeah, the blonde dreadlocks guy at the city meeting. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the what was it about? Oh, Nuremberg 2.0. Yeah, I remember who you're talking about now. Yeah, he was like a 15-minute internet celebrity, YouTube celebrity for a while. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. From I think he was a California guy, wasn't he?
So, I got a question then, Conan. Is that what the weeds were saying when I was pulling them and slinging them this summer from the garden? Because they'd go whoosh, thump, psh. The dirt would fall off and go flying.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah, I remember. I remember that. I just don't remember his name. He showed up on several different platforms.
Okay, shenanigan. We'll see you later, sweetie.
So I guess kind of sounded like that guy. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Because of
I
the
can't really.
ancestors telling him not
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
And me making the sound of the pipe blowing. Yeah, the wind blowing in the pipe. I understand what he's saying. Hello, hello. You can't say it.
That's
He
why I just
showed
say
up
AJ.
on Infowars.
Everybody knows when I say AJ. All right, later shenanigans. Swoosh.
Yeah, but hey, at least it's a yeah. Reminds you of something cool, something good. So it's like my video of my wash machines. A friend of mine watched it, and he says, "Man," he says, "that brought back the memories of me when I was a child and went to my grandma's house. She had one of those, and you done the ringers this way, and you done the washer that way." And he says, "We got tired, and we had to take turns running the wash machine." But it brought back good memories for him. So, you know.
Yeah, it was a pretty good speech. Unfortunately, that's all it amounted to. people still want to stay in bed and accept everything for what it is, and that's all I'm gonna get political about
Right.
without being political about it.
We don't get political around here. We
Right.
do not get political for anybody, for any reason, for any season. Why? Because we have too much fun making people laugh and having a good day. We're not here to depress them. If we
Right,
wanted
and we're here
them to
to
be depressed, we'd tell them, go watch the news.
yeah, we're here to learn from each other, just like freaking Aquarius, dude. Silver lung generator. I was like, what? Now I know what it
Yeah,
is.
right. You know, and not only that, well,
And
kind
it's
of, sort of. I mean, we've been learning about solar generators today, have we not? We've been learning about silver core. How do you spell that and say that word?
colloidal
Uh,
silver.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, they're
We
not
learned about
really
that.
rules, Conan. They're more like
Considerations,
yeah,
you
etiquette.
know.
Like let's just be here to learn and have a good time, not get all depressed and worried about stuff that we can't control, and then start arguments and drama and division. It's not about that, dude.
No, we're here to bring people together, and have a good time and relax.
Oh yeah, we all could vex. That's the thing, but here, here it's not for that. It's more kind of like a haven,
Well, Rose,
a respite.
she might have had a big pipe, but if I have to, mine's gonna have a smaller pipe compared to grandma's, okay? Just saying. 'Cause I know those wood stoves, man, some of them were dreams and other ones were just a pain in the butt.
An old lady nap. All right.
All right,
Later,
sweet
Scrimshaw
dreams.
Rose. Later, Rose. Yeah, like JT said towards the beginning, man, we're here to give a hand up. No handouts, no bringing
We
people down,
right, we
It's
don't we don't because there's enough channels that bring people down and there's
right,
enough
right.
channels that put people down. And to me, I'm gonna tell you something. Each one of you guys, okay? I don't give a hoot and a holler what the heck your income is or what it isn't. All right? And God's night knows my thinking because this is how I always been. All right? You have the same income I do. How do I know? Because I have 2 pennies for each of you. I gave you each 2 pennies, and I tell you, do not put them both in the same pocket. Put one in one front pocket, one in the other front pocket, so they don't clink together. That way, nobody's going to try to get your 2 cents, and they're not going to ask for your 2 cents. But it's okay. Why? Because you got now the same amount of income as what I have. That's it. Case closed. Okay. Now let's start talking. Let's start having fun. You know. And that's how I think, that's how I look at things. Because what somebody else's income is, don't ain't no concern to me. How much land somebody else has, nope,
Yeah, don't give a
not
hoot and
concerned.
holler.
You know? Right. I don't give a hoot and a holler what somebody's income is, how much land they have or don't have, how rich they are or how poor they are. No. It don't
Hey,
change.
Vix,
None of that stuff changes the one thing we all have in common.
because
We're
I'm
human.
suggesting like if you want Conan, if you like want to hang out with the usual people like Vex, Rose, me, even JT if she makes it sometimes or not. On Vex's Monday nights, dude, we get down on a lot of stuff that we don't hear because I mean we respect JT on what she wants for her channel, and we do it that way. And plus, it's a good change because we're here to help each other and learn from each other. That's really what essentially what we do here. But with Vex, like on his Monday nights, if you want to like get down on stuff, you can, dude. Yes, on his channel on Monday nights, Vex.
Yeah, I usually
Uh,
have to
let
watch
him
it
drop
later.
drop your link, Vex, so he can get it if he doesn't have it already. And dude, yeah, we get pretty informative on Monday nights there on Vex's on everything.
Oh, you mean this link? This link right here?
Yeah, Vex's OnlyFans.
This one here? I don't know. I'm still looking for it.
He does Monday nights and Friday nights. His Friday nights are like well, not really educational, but informative things on your constitutional rights. You know, the original lawful uh, subjects or ways of functioning as the United States originally was. It's good stuff, dude.
Apparently, Vex couldn't find his channel link.
Yeah, Striker shows up whenever he wants on Monday or Friday, but
Or
typically,
whenever
go ahead,
he
dude.
has time.
Yeah, typically Striker shows up more on Fridays because that's more of his niche, the assembly stuff and everything. No problem.
That's what we're here for. You know? And not only that, Sunday is the day before, well, some people start working Sunday, but usually it's just before the day before the stressful week starts, you know.
Yeah.
So I just try to do a relaxation and visit and learn and have fun, joke around type of thing, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes we have a lot of people we know, sometimes we have people we don't know. And it just, depends on who wants to stop in.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcomed as long as they're not obnoxious and stuff. You know, it's all good. But
No, I know you weren't getting political, dude. I just didn't want myself to get into it. You know, that's why I just kind of said I was just replying to like it was a great speech, but that's all it was. You know, it didn't start a revolution. It didn't wake people up the way it should have. You know, it's just how much more, you know. And I don't want to delve into that. Now we can in Vexes, you know, we can touch into it more if it comes up. But
Conan, it's
here,
all good.
right, it's all good, dude. You know,
It's all
I'm
good.
just saying. I just didn't want to, you know, like, hey, Gus, Knight, you know, what do you think more about this? Like, if it starts getting into that realm of politics, just out of respect for what JT wishes for her channel, you know, I won't go there.
It's like um everybody just needs a place where they go and hang out and they're welcomed, and as long as they don't start any BS and
It was just an
trying to
example.
attack other people, they're welcome to come here. We don't do
Yeah, we.
drama, so
Yeah, see, there we go. That's what it's about. The birds and the poop seeds.
hey, some seeds the birds actually have to poop out. Okay, I'm just telling you, in order for them to grow,
Yep.
that's a known fact. So you're not saying anything wrong. It's just that even though it might have been as a joke, it actually really is true for some seeds.
Yep.
The birds
Like I
have to
said,
digest them.
once those seeds come out in the poop, they're fertilizer. They already got fertilizer. So once they hit the ground, uh, they're ready to go.
Well, I mean, what could does? Okay, it's like some friends I know. They live down in Australia, and their farm was flooded yesterday from the storms, and it was really bad. And they're looking around, they're checking everything out, and it was to the point, stress wise. even the husband came right out and said, "Hey, we either laugh or it will get to us."
Yeah.
And I understand what they're feeling, you know? And everybody has to laugh, you know. I don't care who they are. They might not think they need to laugh, but I can do something and something stupid and it hi Coach
Hey,
Ace,
coaches.
and it might be something stupid, but it might bust up somebody really bad. And when I say
Wild
bust up,
coaches.
make them laugh so good that it's from their belly. One of the
Yeah.
good old fashioned belly. Oh, my stomach hurts because I'm laughing so hard. But you know what? That's because that person needed that laugh. Okay, and that's okay. You know, um, right? It's been a wild ride, and instead of taking everything and letting everything get to you, sometimes we all just gotta step back and find something, even a stupid something, something small, tiny. We need to laugh about it,
Yep.
you know, because if we don't, the stress is gonna get to you, and that's not good either. So how you doing, Coach East? Oh, Coach
Yeah. Comment is
East.
pending right now.
What
We're waiting for
comment?
the we're waiting for the AI to produce a comment or a reply.
No, he actually has a channel.
I know.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. I'm glad to hear that you're okay. You know, um, but yeah, Cody. So don't worry. It, somebody might have real fancy clothes in here. We don't know it. We don't care. Somebody might not have real fancy clothes. We don't know it. We don't care. You know
Exactly.
why? Because what we see in each one of you is one, you're a human. Two, you have feelings. Three, you might need to laugh. And four, I might be able to make you
Oh
laugh so
yeah.
hard that it ain't funny, but it's okay.
Yeah, dude. This
Five, we can learn from each other.
what you're
So,
talking about right now, Conan, has been happening since Trump, dude. Maybe a little bit before, but it intensified since Trump, dude. Uh, but yeah, there's so much going on with online communities that we need to go back to the way they did it back then, meeting in public areas, hanging out, if possible. But this is why JT has a channel like this, so we can come here, have a good time, not freak out, not stress out,
that and
and
it's
forget
getting
about
too
what's
cold
going on.
for. It's getting too cold. I'd have to go downtown. I'd have to build the square because they don't have town squares anymore.
Yes,
Okay? And I don't have a soapbox. I can't stand up on it and say, "Hear ye, hear ye," and be the town crier because we got a village of drunks. They all take turns. So we have a fresh one every day, you know. Um, so yeah, here we just kick back and have fun, relax, and enjoy each other, you know, in the timeline.
but yeah, I mean that's a good way to say. It. I mean we're learning and helping on how to be self-sufficient, how to ride the long ride out. You know, the worst of times, maybe your own personal shit hits the fan scenario, or someone else's. You know that you're like, oh man, you're having so much trouble. I'll help you out. Or everybody is affected by the same thing. You know, it just depends on the scenario. You know what you're going through or what everybody else is going through, and it's better to be wise than not wise. It's better to take wisdom and apply it rather than running with fools and learn. You know, using the foolish ways. You know, foolishness to
Hey, Conan,
destroy.
here's a little secret, okay? And I'm not putting telling you to go check my videos out or anything. But if you want to actually see some of those old ways, Go ahead and watch my videos aren't that big. They're not that long, but they've got a lot of information in it. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you have questions on what you see or even the old ways in that book, let us know. All right? Because chances are I'll be able to help you. All right? I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm not blowing my own horn or anything like that. No. But you want to learn? We will help you learn. Okay? No, they're not all cooking, honey. They're not all cooking. I show you how to do leather work and a bunch of other stuff, you know? So, well, hey, what's wrong with cooking anyhow? Don't you got to know how to cook? I mean, that's not a dirty word. That's a good word to know how to do. The old brick sitting by the shack video. The leather videos were the first ones I done.
Yep. Very way at the bottom, dude. Her earlier
Yeah,
videos.
they're the very first ones I done, honey. But and if you have, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll get together. We can talk it out. I can help you. You know, because no, it's not. I'm not trying to say this is how you have to do things and this, that, and the other. I try to get you to thinking about it. If you want to try it, and you can afford to try it, you know, that's cool. You know what I mean? And it helps with things. Well, thank you. We appreciate you
Yeah,
too,
no problem,
sweetie.
Conan. I'm just
You
here to
know,
help. That's it.
that's all. That's what this channel's about, helping. You know, um, opening eyes up to things that most people don't understand. Well, that's okay though. Sometimes you gotta be deep because, yeah, like I said, sometimes somebody laughing is the most important thing they need.
Yeah. Yeah, laughing. Yeah, I mean that's a fair way to say it. Laughing is like that life
Yeah,
preserver or uh that life vest. You know, it's gonna keep you from sinking. It's gonna keep you from just sinking into those depths. You know, you have something
I
there to kind of.
I used to live on Main Street, okay, and I would go out and I'd sit on my step and I'd wave at everybody. I didn't care if you went past me 90 times a day. I'd wave at you and I'd watch you. No matter which direction you went, I'd watch you after I waved at you. And I had people stop and say, people don't do that anymore. And they'd ask me why I do it. And I'd say, it might brighten that person's day up. And then again, it might have been me that I was doing it for to brighten my own day up. And it's okay. And you
I
know
never
what they
feel
told
guilty
me?
about laughing.
No. They told me, they says you don't see that anymore. People will be looking down, they put their hands up. but they don't care who they're waving at. And if you wave or you make somebody laugh and innocently, it could help somebody really bad.
I mean, it's the gesture, dude. Just like laughing or smiling, it's a positive gesture.
Yep.
If you're gonna put out, you know, give outward positive energy, and it either affects those people or not, as long as you're doing it and you're doing right for others, trying to cheer them up some way, either directly or indirectly. I mean, you do it because you feel good, right? You don't do it because you have to. You do it because you want to.
Well, you could do it because, you know, somebody's being mean to you. And the worst way to drive somebody like that crazy is to smile.
Yep.
Because they'll wonder, what is it? What is it that Conan knows that I don't know? Man, that person always has a smile on their face. You know?
Yeah.
And some people don't like it when you smile because they know you know something and they're afraid that you know something they don't.
Right.
I made that 3 hours ago.
Oh,
Yep.
gee.
Me, I'm not afraid, and I have no concerns of the unknown.
I'm
The
getting
less I know, the better I'm off.
I'm getting a coffee lecture.
And I just
All right.
got up thinking you needed a refill right now.
I got lectured.
Yeah.
I made
We
you
talked
a
about. What, JT? Sorry.
I got a lecture. I made you a cappuccino 3 hours ago. And you haven't drank any.
She's really like, make me cappuccino. And I'm like, yep, I made it. Oh, that woke you up. All right, just sitting there.
Yeah, Conan heard the lecture too.
What is your malfunction? Yeah, we've talked about it before, Conan. I mean, we talked about good energy, bad energy, good vibes, bad vibes, whatever you want to call it. When you're giving people acknowledgement or respect and being polite to them, even though if you don't know them, it's a stranger. Um, Strangers are more accepting than your own family, honestly, just depending. And this is debatable because some families are so close and tight knit that they'll support each other no matter what, and that's a good family.
Oh,
The
Conan
most
said,
typical,
sorry, continue on, God's night.
I'm saying most typical families, modern families, are so divided. You either have a mother or a father, single parent, multiple siblings. There's chaos. They're not organized. Like I've talked about it before, like with my family example in the Philippines. The Philippine culture is like the Mexican culture, the traditional culture I'm talking about, not the modern one. Those families will do anything and everything they can for a family member that may not have money, food, transportation. They're there for each other. My family here in the United States, a typical more modern family, we don't even talk to each other like family. We're so separated and distant from each other, disconnected in some ways. But as the older son, I still try to keep that alive to where I communicate with my parents and my siblings. But if they don't contact me back, I leave it alone. I don't bother. Say, hey, why haven't you called me or why haven't you texted me? If they don't want to, that's on them. But my Filipino family, they're always either wanting to talk on voice chat through Messenger or video chat. See, just being respectful and treating people like people is the best course. That's the best
Right.
course we can.
And nowadays, a lot of people forgot how to do that.
Yep.
You know, because they're so busy with the me movement. And instant gratification.
Yeah.
Well, not everything is instant or gratifying, you know? Sometimes to make something, you have to have patience.
Yeah. It's like fishing. I love fishing and I have patience for fishing. I don't have patience for YouTube. Like for my own channel. But I can
So,
sit on a dock on the edge of the lake or in a boat waiting for a fish to bite 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I'm fine with that. I have that patience.
you know the old saying, patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
I've never been one for that me movement. I've always been one to look at the bigger picture on things. If I have a huge task ahead of me, I'll break it down to where each section of that big task isn't so big. I'll get it done faster.
And that's fine, man. You don't have to have my patience just like I don't have to have your level of patience. That's what makes living great. We're not all the same. Imagine if we're all the same.
Life would be boring, duh.
Exactly.
And then we wouldn't have any reason to go, oh, totally, like, for sure. Gag me with a spoon.
Yeah, with the spoon. Totally.
For sure.
Cowabunga.
Yeah, cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, that's fair. Benefit of the doubt. I mean, trust is earned and built upon. It's just it doesn't happen right away.
Right. It's like friendship.
Yep.
You know, friendships take time. Getting to know somebody takes time. You can't say, well, I went and I watched God's Night Show today and he should have been doing this way and that way and yada 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 yada. Okay, yeah, I'm picking on you guys tonight. You know, you need it just don't happen. Nobody can control another person's channel. Nobody can control another person either. You know, and if people think that they can control another person, pinch them politely and say, "Wake the hay up! Your coffee pot's burning, babe, because the water's gone in it. You're living in a make believe world." You know,
Yeah.
and
My opinion on that is there's no difference between an amateur and a pro. Those are just titles or a category. Because I've outfished people who consider themselves pros. I've outfished my father-in-law, and he's made the claim that he's been fishing for all his life practically, and that he knows every trick and every way to to catch fish. And these guys who the professionals are paid to do it. That's the only reason why they've taken up that title of pro. Me, like I'm not trying to brag, man. I'm just saying that like this. Yeah, I'm a pro fisher because I've been to fishing derbies. Then there's one particular one in Lake Isabella. And so these fishing derbies, I'm pretty sure you're aware or not, is each fish has a tag, a price tag on it, a monetary value. And then we have so-called quote unquote pros. They go with these boats full of technology, right? And I've outfished these guys on my own little dinghy or offshore, right off the shore. And that's the only reason why there's a pro and amateur here. I'm an amateur because I don't fish all fancy and make a living off of it. A TV show or a brand name. Nothing. I just go out there to enjoy the fishing. Just like if I were to go hunt, I go out to hunt to enjoy the environment. not because I want to kill something. I go out there, enjoy the environment, have a good time. If I get a kill, I get a kill. If not, I don't. The same with fishing. If I catch a fish, awesome. If not, it's fine. I mean, I use uh, average bait. Sometimes I use power bait, salmon eggs. What works best here, like in the canal, are just regular jigs. You're catching bluegill, crappie, um, and you don't
You
need high tech equipment.
you really want to irk those cookies of those people? Go get a branch off of a tree, slap some
Yep,
string on it, and use a safety pin for your hook. Okay, and then get a good old juicy fat knot crawler. Put that on your
yep,
hook. Put it in the water, catch a fish, and then look at them and go,
yep,
"Yep, old-fashioned technology is still high tech."
yep, definitely. I mean, I've caught catfish with peanut butter, corn. You don't need fancy radar or wait a certain specific time of day. Uh, just when the fish is hungry, you're gonna catch them. Fish are unpredictable. They don't have a pattern. They don't have a predictability algorithm. They're wild animals. They have
They're like humans. They eat when they're
yeah,
hungry and sleep when they're tired. You know, they just ain't figured out how to answer cell phones and make calls yet.
yep,
However, a lot of fishermen keep throwing their phones at them.
yeah. Because I fished with Ugly Stick, Shakespeare. I don't need no fancy ass like $100 reels. Uh, I fish with cheap equipment, and it's just as good as $1,000 setup. It's just everybody, the average consumer thinks the more expensive it is, the better it is. It's like you're 100% wrong. You think that fish is gonna bite on your line because you're using spider wire, steel or aluminum or platinum version, and you got like an $800 stick and a $300 spool. It's not gonna bite your pole because of that. It's not gonna bait itself just because you got these special equipment.
Yeah, their radars, they might show where the fish are, but you know what? Depending on the bait and the fish, them
Yep,
fish might have a full belly because they done ate long before.
exactly.
So they're not going to bite, you know?
I've been I've gone shore fishing off a pier. Well, say a pier fishing. Sometimes you get a fish, but I've caught more crab off a pier than I have a fish.
Was it a long pier or a short pier?
It was about a mid-sized pier. It went
Oh,
about
okay.
700 yards offshore into the water.
Well, I had to ask. We don't have piers around here.
Yeah, I've caught more crabs on my lines than I have fish. And mind you, my lines don't go all the way down to the ground, to the deck of the beach, the beachhead or the shore. Not anymore like I used to. These were my younger days. Now, situations are a little different.
Dang
Now
it,
I
almost.
prefer I prefer freshwater, hands down freshwater fishing over. I've been deep sea fishing. It's cool, but I enjoyed this, being out there on the boat rather than fishing really. So it was kind of a waste of money for me, but at the same time, it was a good trip. I've caught a scorpion, a barracuda, never any like marlin or swordfish, nothing fancy. A small shark, nothing awesome. Yeah, I was like I said, I prefer freshwater fishing better.
Nothing
It's more
awesome. Let's
relaxing.
see. So the awesome part would be catfish, bluegills, bass, large and small.
Trouts. Yeah, I love bass and trout.
Oh, those
Catfish
are
is
the
my favorite.
fancy fish. Okay, cool. We catch those up around this area.
Yep, catfish is my favorite meat, fish meat.
I
I
hate to tell
hear
anybody, but it kind of feels like it could do that wet stuff, only it's rain.
what?
I said it feels like it could do that white stuff. Okay, only it's just rain, which is a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm outside. I'm still listening. I'm still talking.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten our rain yet. It's a light overcast, but no rain.
Put it
That's
this
Central
way:
Valley for you.
as cold as what it is, we don't have to worry about tornadoes. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Because it's weird that California does get tornado warnings now. Like in the 80s, 90s, we had little to no any kind of like tornado in California. What? Now all of a sudden, there's more tornado warnings during this time of season.
Well, that's not the only place that never got them. Arizona, and now Arizona gets them too.
Yeah. Like bird poop stuff? Conan is asking, are you talking about the white bird poop?
Well, I hate to tell him, but newsflash: all bird poop is like that color. Okay, it don't matter what the color the bird is, it still comes
Right.
out that way.
Exactly. That's that weird white, grayish black.
You get the black, and then in the middle, you get that little peak of
Tornado?
white.
No, tornado. Yeah, dude, my family's from Michoacan, particularly La Luz, except nasty ass seagulls. Yeah, dude, seagull poop is like really big and running. Yeah, I know what you mean. Same for our pigeons here in California, or rats with wings. Uh, they're not much bigger than a seagull, but they leave a nice big nasty mess.
Then you don't want to get hit by a pelican. Just saying.
No love for seagulls. I don't
Now,
blame you.
what did them seagulls ever do to you besides poop on you? They were just passing their love around.
They look like you can use a little fertilizing to grow taller. Here, I'll give you some.
Right.
I've seen so many great seagull videos. They're funny. They steal things. They steal food. Doesn't matter what it is. They see it. They're eating it. They'll take it.
What did I say that he said no? No, he meant when JT said it. What, the
Tornado in
tornado?
Spanish. Yeah, tornado, 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 tornado.
We have lots of names for it. Twisters. Not the board game either.
Twisters, Dirt Devil, like the vacuum cleaner. No, I'm just joking.
Naders in the dark. Those are the nasty ones.
The ones you can't see coming at you, huh?
Yeah. I had to inform a young lady the other day that you could have a nader coming at you, and it can be so wide you can't see it. Because she's like, But you can see them when they go to come. No, not always. Some of them are huge.
Yep.
So I had to explain that to her.
Eaters in the
Yeah, everybody hates naders in the dark. You know.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we lived in a small village and it was down between the hills. Okay? Everybody say, oh, you don't have to worry. They don't go down the valley. Well, they took the chimney off the house and ripped the petunia bushes out, and it went in between our house and the Catholic church next door. Yep.
I like owls. I've never had a problem with owls. I've seen like right now in California, it's owl season, dude. It's cooler. It gets dark more sooner, so they're out hunting, and you hear them, and they love the palm trees here. It's easier for them to watch for prey and to nest in. It's weird. The owls during fall, winter season here nest in the same palm trees that hawks, peregrines, and some other bird of prey like a hawk. Uh, same palm tree, same palm trees. It's just weird. Like one species moves in, then moves out. The other species moves in, then moves out.
Have you heard a bunch of owls at night? They sound like monkeys in a cage.
Yeah, we get that here now because, like I said, they took over the palm, the area where we once had, the warmer season fowl species.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, they're very cool. Is that- yeah, owls are cool. I don't mind them. But
Well,
when you get like 10 of them, whoo, I was like, what the heck? What's going on out there? It's like an
we
owl
have now
social.
became we have now became Conan's personal show for the day.
Yeah, Conan's the only one around there.
Anyhow, uh,
Yeah, it's been 3 hours, GT. If you want to call it, it's up to you.
yeah, Conan, does he know how to get to Discord?
I'm pretty sure he knows how to hit Discord.
We can always meet up again on Discord and talk if you want. I go to bed early, so I'm not up for late shows and stuff.
Yeah, just don't miss Vex's Monday nights, man. You'll like it, I think. Even this Friday night.
Yeah, Friday,
Because, go GT.
the Friday night is when you have to be prim, proper, and serious.
Yeah.
He won't let me
Because
go there and crack up.
because his Friday nights, like I said, it's about your rights as a as a human being and in your country, the Constitution and all this. But every country that may not have a similar or any constitution at all like ours, it'll be good to learn. That way, you can introduce this concept or idea into your culture, into your nation, because everybody needs to understand their basic human rights.
He said, wait, before you go. Stupid delay. Before you go offering Discord invites and such. So I've given a few clues to who I am. Have you figured it out yet? I didn't know I was supposed to be figuring out a puzzle.
Well, he did talk about Mexico. He prefers fresh water over ocean fishing. Uh, he talked about solar and wind. Uh, about the old
Like,
ways. Oh, he's a Fed.
I have no clue. Yes, the clues. interested in the ocean. Well, I can guarantee he's not Elon Musk.
Okay. Well, because he also mentioned if Stryker's there, it's going to be a good show. So he's aware of Stryker.
Somebody you know is Ozzy.
No, it can't be us.
He could be.
No, no. The way I was interacting with him, no, that's not us.
Okay. He knows Stroker. Mexico. Not hippie.
Oh hell no,
Um,
definitely not anything. It's ish, no ish. It may not even be someone I'm aware of, really.
Esteveto. What's it mean? God's night.
Este vato like this guy, or pretty much like this guy.
The guy. That guy. See or no? God's night knows me. Esteveto. Well, it's not Badger.
Uh,
He got a call, muted us. Huh?
Badger?
It's either that guy or Badger. Oh, now I know who you are. So do you think I'm what you called me that night?
Oh no. I guess he don't remember what he told you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he does. That's why he got so quiet.
Yeah.
No, you called me something that was not very nice.
Oh, I already knew who you were, dude. Last Sunday, I brought it to JT's attention, but she gave you the benefit of the doubt. And she can confirm that because I brought it to her attention. Now, the hate thing, there was never any hate. So if I didn't say I hate you or a piece of
I
shit
never
or
said
prick,
anything about you
it's all good
being
though.
that.
Yeah, I never said nothing either about you being Antifa. So I don't know where that's coming from.
Me either.
But anyways,
Yep. I think it's time to wrap it up for the day.
yeah, your show, your call, JT.
Okay, and Conan, I've always been in my good place.
Yeah, I've always been
Oh,
there too.
we could,
There was
except for
never a hatchet.
there's one thing, Conan. Why did you call me that really bad thing that one night? You've never said you're sorry? It's nowhere near my personality or who I am even. I never gave you a reason to do it. Okay, I'll give you a chance. But don't use Spanish because I do understand some of them. And you're welcome to come as long as you behave. Okay? Because I won't tolerate anybody acting up. Alright? Because there's not going to be any drama being pulled or any BS by anybody. Alright? If you can behave, you'll be welcomed. If you cannot behave,
Yeah, I'm a man of consistency. You should be well aware of that. I have not changed since hippies. I'm still the same man.
yeah, I'm
I just
still the same person too.
I'm just going by what JT wants for her channel. That's it. I've explained that.
So, I'll see you guys later and talk with you soon.
All right, later, JT. It's good
God
hanging
bless
out.
you. Have a good night.